It's time for the Ghostfire Media Network podcast show, featuring the stars of iRacing's IVRL and the AOLL. Now, here's your host, the Ghostfire Media Network crew.
All right, can we hear? We good? All right, cool. So, Cody just said we have no sound. So, real quick, once again, welcome to Ghostfire Media, the podcast. I'm your host tonight, Larry Patrick. There we
No, we got you. And I'm Josh Laston.
And with the quick technical difficulties we got, I will take responsibility for that. My desktop computer is not working, so Adam at the last second had to set everything up and get his stuff running while I had to kick over to the laptop. So I'm actually not the one pushing the stream tonight. It's Adam. So this should be pretty fun as he slides on the glasses. So should be a good show tonight. All right, we're going to talk IVRL. We had a break last week, first and foremost. We're going to make mention of that. But it was a break for Memorial Day. And we're going to talk IVRL. You guys were at Sonoma. And then we're going to talk Truck Series, which we didn't get to broadcast. I was under the weather, so we missed the broadcast on that. But a wild race. We're going to really get into that. Heard a lot about that. And then AOLL, we're going to talk the upcoming Cup Series. And then we're also going to talk about the TNT Series. Josh?
Hey, it was a fun race for the most part.
There you go. So, real quick, we're going to take a quick word from Pat Patterson, and then when we come back, we're going to bring in Thomas Carino, our first guest from the IVRL.
Hi, it's Pat Patterson, the racing guy. You're listening to the Ghostfire Media Podcast.
Alrighty, we're back. That was our main man, Pat Patterson, welcoming you to the podcast here. And we're going to bring in Thomas Carino now. He's an awesome guy I race with every so often. He was off this past week at Sonoma, so he doesn't have anything really to say about that. But we weren't here last Friday night to talk about the previous race.
Let me give you a welcome to the podcast, man. And tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Car number, league, all that happy jazz.
Yeah, so Tom Carino Jr. I'm in the IVRL Butt Kicker League and car number 7. First year I've done it. Been a really, really good time. Got into iRacing, I think, like a decent amount of people I know when the pandemic really started. And I was kind of forced inside, finally decided to pull the trigger. And, man, I just haven't turned back. I've loved it. So
awesome, man. Sonoma. How was it for you?
I actually missed it. This is the first race I missed this whole year was Sonoma. But before that, I've been on a nice little hot streak, been running top fives a lot, and had a bad race at Coda, just had some just a terrible mistake on pit road. But no, man, it's been a lot of fun. Really getting used to. I got some new equipment because, of course, I couldn't go a whole year without getting new equipment. It's like it's addicting. You know what I mean?
It's always evolving. So, you're happy at one point, and then you're just like you see something else shining. You're like, I gotta have it. 100%.
So then finally, I've settled into some stuff, and I really feel like the results are coming. So yeah, can't complain, man.
Awesome, man. Adam?
Yeah, man. So where were we the week prior? Charlotte, the Charlotte, where you raced that one.
Correct.
So we can
Yeah,
talk
yeah, I
about
did.
that one. We didn't have a podcast last Friday night, so we can talk about the Charlotte 300, 75 miles that we did.
We can
Yeah.
definitely talk about Charlotte.
Yeah, I again, bad pitch strategy, but managed to recover. Cody tells us the stages before you start the race every single time, and I just wasn't paying attention. And I thought the first stage was 50 laps, so I pitted at lap 26, and then realized I needed to go 49 more, and that wasn't going to happen on one tank. So yeah, ended up a lap down, battled my way back, I think to like close to a top 10 or something like that. But
yeah, I didn't know if you were trying to do a stage trying to get some type of advantage over everybody else. Me and Charles were talking about it because Charles is my unofficial teammate. That's we race in the general chat, and that's where I was like, man, is this dude trying to go for like a 3 pit stop for every stage to try to get that fresh tire advantage? But if he does that, he's not going to have any tires at the end.
Exactly. No, I totally realized that way too late too. So I not way too late after the first stage, but man, it was good. And then yeah, it's interesting that race kind of threw some with the unlimited resets too. I feel like I did a really good job surviving, and saw a bunch of wrecks that I had avoided until I got flipped over on the backstretch. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I felt like I did a good job surviving, so probably would have been a better finish had we done no resets. But it's fine, man. It's fun to change it up.
Yeah, man. I had a blast. I mean, I kind of wish the resets weren't there for the fast repairs. I know Cody did his best to try to jump through the hoops because of the unfortunate Toyotas had an unfair advantage underneath qualifying of having the California Auto Club. But he put it together a new server right quick, and it just one click didn't get through. But that's what I was hoping, a race of attrition, because I saw many people slap that wall coming out of turn 4, and not many people did
Exactly.
too. But there's a lot of people did it on turn 4, and I was like, man, if they didn't have the resets, I'll be moving up. I mean, I think I played it out. I think my only disadvantage, I think for myself, was that last caution that we did. I didn't take 4 sets of tires. I didn't take a set of tires. I stayed out, and everybody else had like 10 laps on their tires, and they pitted, and everybody blew my doors off for the most part. But I was hoping that we would have a late race caution, and I would have that extra set of tires for that last 5, 10 lap, 10, 20 lap run or something like that they didn't have. But that caution never came.
No, exactly, man. It's amazing how much of it comes down to a strategy play after a while. But yeah, no, for sure.
Now, what's your preferred tracks? Are you a 1.5 guy, short track, road?
So I guess I should start quickly with how I got into racing, which is go-karts, right? I raced go-karts when I was younger and raced against guys like Austin Dillon down south. I did the World Karting Series or World Karting Association Series and raced against him and Trevor Bain. And it was always short tracks, right? It was always short tracks and stuff like that. And I did a street stock at a half-mile track that very closely resembles Martinsville in upstate New York. And I love the short tracks. I think it's more fun. I think it takes a little bit more skill. But that's not to say that I haven't developed the skills for the 1.5 miles because you have to, right? There's 15 or however many of them on the schedule now. So it's interesting to see that, and even within the 1.5 miles, how different they can be. It seems like they wouldn't be, but certain tracks, man, it's just it's a totally different line, a totally different field. But if I had to give you an answer, I'd say short tracks. I love beating and banging. I love, I think it's what stock car racing was started on, and I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? It's great. It's great to see all these different tracks.
I feel you, man. I think the 1.5 miles kind of improved it over the past 6 months or so once the iRacing swapped over to the dynamic tracks. Some of these one group tracks now have at least 2 lanes. Some of them can get up to 3 to 4 lanes on them, where you're not just like everybody's just stagnant behind the one person trying to get to the bottom or get to the top because that's the only lane. So I think the 1.5 miles have kind of improved. I think the iRacing or the super speedways went down, even though they went to more true to life apparently. But a lot of people hate it. I like the old super speedway packages. I like the new super speedway packages. I've got a lot of wins on both of them, so I can deal with either. And I'm waiting for the next gen. I was watching Josh right before we went into this. He was streaming the next gen rookie class car today at Daytona, and he was having fun. Almost won it.
I recommend
Yeah, I haven't even-
anybody to do it. It is an absolute blast. These things are great in the pack, and the drafting is so much easier, and it's easier to initiate a run in comparison to the current Cup car.
Even before they swapped over to the latest track package for that. So
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it, right? Like the guys in our group for the IVRL series, they all talk about how much they love driving it. I haven't driven it yet, man. I'm scraping just trying to get practice for our series and let alone a new car. But yeah, man, it's I'm looking forward to driving that too.
yeah, we did AOLL did a fun race on Sunday night sponsored by First Response Racing, and we did Michigan. So we went out to Michigan on Sunday night. 75 laps. We had 23 different leaders at the line. 23 different leaders at the line. That speaks volumes. I mean, to be able to get that many people to pass for the lead for it, and that doesn't even mean how many times the lead actually changed going down the back straightaway. Because
in AOLL at
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I was driving down the back straightaway of Michigan, and a car flew by me, felt like I was sitting still, and we were all in a draft. Like, Randy Pepper blew my doors off. Like, he was doing at least 10 to 15 miles an hour faster than me. I was like, where the hell does this dude come from? But that's what these new cars are going to give you. They're going to give you these long and beautiful runs that you don't get stagnated by the air and turbulence and that stupid bubble when you get close. Like, you just slow down. No, you just keep going.
It's still there a little bit, but it's much easier to push through.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait for next year for the IVRL, AOLL, and all the other leagues I run to kind of migrate to that. I know everybody's going to wait until that, and that'll be a 2022. But until then, you missed this week at Sonoma. I wouldn't say you missed much, but you missed a race.
Can I guess who won? Was
You
it
can
Cosby?
guess. You'd probably be right.
I mean, you have like a 80% chance right now. I think that's his
Right.
statistics. Probably higher,
Right.
maybe like 85, 90.
It was Cody.
I think
Cody
the first-
McKinney won
I
it.
think-
Okay.
Yeah, I think the first race I was competitive with Causey this year was at Richmond, and I was racing him side by side, and I was like, "Is something wrong with him? Like, did he hit something?" I was just completely lost. I was like, "I do not belong up here with these guys. This is so confusing." But yeah, it's wild to see those guys, man. Fixed setup, like how they can simultaneously be so fast and somehow still have tires at the end. There's things like I've gotten better, but there's still things I don't comprehend that they can do.
Yeah,
I
like,
just don't get it. It's unreal.
Like, I came out one time, we were at Dover, and I just went a lap down because just straight long green flag runs, and I went a lap down to Greg Holt coming out of the pits, and I stayed with Greg until my tires wore out, but he kept going.
Yeah, it's amazing.
His tires never wore out. I think he's over here putting some contra cheat codes or something in there. But I mean, I matched him lap for lap for about 10, 15 laps. And then after that, I mean, he just started gapping me because I think he just up, down, left, right, A, B, start, select, man. It's crazy.
Exactly. Got some track tack on those tires. No, I know it. It's insane. I don't know how these guys do it. But yeah, that's the thing, right? That's the beautiful thing about it's just like the real thing in the sense that there's always somebody you're chasing, and there's always somebody you're trying to get better, and there's always somebody you're trying to beat, right? And maybe not for Joseph Causey this year, but it's pretty amazing to see these guys how good they can be, and it's fun, man. It's been a really good community. Everybody's been pretty civil, with the exception of a couple incidents here and there, right? Not to mention any names, Patrick Gaspar, but it's been really good. And I'm kidding, but no, it's been really fun. So it's cool to see you guys and like how serious everybody takes this stuff, and I love it, man. It's just reigniting that passion. I miss actual racing. I mean, like, the real deal thing. And like, I stopped that when I was 18, man. Money is a hell of a burden in the real life deal, and just couldn't do it anymore. So it's awesome to kind of pick up a community here with this.
Yeah, and you would think that, like, doing this stuff's going to get cheaper, instead of real racing, and then you start investing and you realize, like, man, I probably could have bought a damn race car for what I've just spent. And this stuff still
100%.
breaks. Again, my desktop just broke today. I can't tell you what's wrong with it, but now I got to figure out what this thing's wrong with just to be able to race
Help
again.
desk too.
Huh?
Aren't you help desk?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
But he has other people work for him. He's moving up to the top tier where he doesn't do anything anymore, and he's like, "Hey guys, I need you guys to work on X, Y, and Z now."
No, I got out of
Just tell
special
people what to
operations
do, right?
community. Okay, they don't let us do anything in big army. I literally have to call people. Like, yo, this is broke. Can you fix this? Like, it's stupid. But anyways, neither here nor there, man. But yeah, like I said, it's crazy. Today, Fnatic just released that new direct drive wheel, like $350. That's a
Yep.
great deal, right? I just spent $750 on this CSW 2.5, and here they come out with this cheap direct drive,
Oh.
So, now, I mean, we never, it's never ending. It just seems like both of
Right.
them.
Right. It's exactly right. Exact thing. Like I did the same thing. I started off with the cheapest wheel you can start off with. This was months ago. I started off with the Thrustmaster TMX, dude, and I was just
That's
rolling
what
with
I had.
that, not feeling anything, and then yeah, that's what I started off with, and I love it, and it was great, and I had a blast. But then like you start getting in these races where these guys are just like, you feel like you're doing everything you can, and then you just realize that that equipment does make a difference sometimes, and it's there's still guys who can wheel and beat me with worse equipment, and I understand that, and I'm totally privy to that. But I got a Fanatec as well. I got a direct drive, and man, it's unbelievable how fun it makes it and how realistic it feels. It's cool. It's very cool.
I mean, that's what I started off with. I had a T150, and I was playing NASCAR Heat for a while, and for about a year, got in some leagues there. One of them was actually the IVRL on Xbox. They have a huge Xbox league going there, and then I swapped over to iRacing, and then I got into AOL series, and that's how I got Larry involved because I was streaming for AOL just the in car, and this dude always called me out on how horrible I was. So he came on there with this Xbox controller and started running some TNT races with that. And then
And
I
he
finally
hasn't improved since the
no,
controller.
he has not.
Oh.
And then I think I moved up to the AccuForce, and then I was
There it
able to
is.
give Larry a good discount on the T150, and then he had it for a while. I think he's up to the CSW 2.5, so he's moving up, and I think my pedals have went through 4 people now. I think 3
Yeah.
people, no 4, yeah.
Including all the GFM people.
Basically
on
everybody at
this.
GFM. So I sold my Thrustmaster TLCMs, whatever, to Larry. Larry sold them to Josh. Josh sold them to Carl. So now Carl's the owner of it. So I mean, we're a big community over here, and helping everybody else advance in their life without breaking the bank.
Yeah, it's cool, man, and that's the thing, right? Is like, so I guess I have a question for you guys. Is like, how did you get started with all this, and how did it come up? Because for me, it was just a shot in the dark. I knew a guy who ran the series, and I was all in, and I checked it out. So how'd this all get going?
I'll start off and then kind of work our way around to Josh and Larry. So I've been into just regular Xbox games, consoles my whole entire life. I've played a little bit of PC. I really never had a PC growing up, so I didn't really have. I couldn't join all this AOL crowd who's been in there from the since the mid '90s, running a whole bunch of different things because that's their level, and so I've ran Forzas, I've ran Gran Turismos, done NASCAR games. I mean, my favorite one was NASCAR 98 with the cheat code. You get the paintballs, and you can start shooting everybody in front of you, and they just spin out. It was awesome. And then, like I said, last year, made the turning point to where I wanted to get off the console and moved into a little bit more physics heavy and actual simulation. So I moved over to iRacing with a 3-month code and see if I like it. And then that's when I started piling in money. And then,
Preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I think I kind of helped AOL get a little bit reinvigorated because Johnny, who is one of the big AOL admins, came over to my house for vacation, and he's my wife's cousin, so my relative through my wife, and they came over for vacation from Illinois down to North Carolina, and he saw me racing on the Xbox, and he's like, "Let me try, man." So he started playing it. I mean, he's been with them forever, and then I don't know if he had the bug beforehand, but it definitely implanted the bug again into him, and then shortly after that, like, they started back up and running again. So, and then the whole pandemic helped everybody get back into it.
Yeah, I wish mine was like that beautiful of a story. Basically, from my youth, I was always playing racing video games and everything. I started off with Papyrus's Indy 500 when I was like 6 years old. Got the next indie game when it came out, and then Gran Turismo came out, and that was pretty much the only thing I played until about 2017. I had my Thrustmaster T150 that was part of the game, and I happened to be working with a team in the UK. I was over there drinking with a bunch of them, which not a surprise with that group. And we were just talking about it, and they were just like, "Oh, we have an iRacing team. You should join us." And I looked at them like, "What the heck are you talking about?" They explained it to me, and I was like, "Okay, I'll give this a try." Ran like 3 races with them. They were way better than me.
Yep.
And then I just kind of tried to kick it up from there, and it ended up sitting just due to too much work happening until the pandemic hit, and then I started picking it up again, and was just like, I'm going to join a league, and then I found the AOL, and yeah, that's what happened.
That's awesome.
Man. Grew up motocross. Can't do that forever. Breaks your body down. So got to find some other way to have some fun, right? So like Adam said, man, I caught him streaming one day, and I worked with this dude in the Army, and I used to always love giving him crap when he was sitting at his desk watching car videos and talking about Ricky Bobby and how fast Arrows was. And I was like, dude, you're not that fast. Like you're garbage. Shut up.
No,
I used to like to pick on him at work, and then I seen his video and I was like, dude, you're terrible. Like, how are you not winning? You are garbage. Like, how long you been doing this? So then finally he called me out and he said, come on, man, if you think you could do this, come out and race with us. So then I had to make a point. Xbox controller, man, two little fingers, and then started buying his stuff. And next thing you know, my wife was nice enough to buy me the CSW. I bought the V3s. Who did I get those from? You, Adam?
No, you bought those straight out.
No, I bought those from Rick.
Okay, you got those from Rick, yeah. You got the wheel from me.
Yep, and then
and
a bunch of we'll say donated equipment. That's how we'll call it, donated equipment on triples. And then Adam went VR, so I was like, I gotta go VR. And $2,000 lap, desktop later, and next thing you know, man, here we are. So in all honesty, awesome. I had nothing better to do on Saturday because those Saturdays in the freaking fall are getting kind of boring now when we're wiping the floor with everybody,
No, yeah, for sure. And then losing in heartbreaking fashion in the semifinals. I get it. No, I get it. Trust me. I would like to just be a part of it one day. I just want to make the playoff one day, which we'll have to expand it to 27 teams for that to happen. So
I'm from North Carolina, so I have like 47 teams. Yeah. I have like 47 teams in North Carolina to choose from. It's like, who do I want to do? Like, I was raised a Wolfpack fan, but they suck at everything. They're medium tier on every sport level there is. They're not good at anything, but they can make it to the end. But that's they're like, oh, you almost made the playoffs. Congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt with Michigan for the first few years, and now we're just bad again. But yeah, man, it's crazy. The iRacing community is so wild. So the company I work for now actually is Ilmore Engineering. So what we do is we build the IndyCar engines for Chevrolet. We build the NASCAR Truck Series engines, and then Mastercraft boat engines. It's wild. It's a crazy place, and it's here in Plymouth, Michigan. You would never think that they would be in Michigan, but it is. Really cool spot, right? And I got to know a lot of. I'm an accountant. I don't build shit. I'm a nerd. So I got to know a lot of these guys who work there. And one of the guys who works there on our trackside engineer team for the IndyCar is Adam Blocker. He's like one of the best iRacing IndyCar guys like in the world. It's kind of unbelievable. And like, I met him and I talked to him about it, and I was like, oh, I'm just getting into it. And he's like, yeah, I guess I'm pretty good at it. And then like I started looking up some stuff about him on iRacing, and he's like, I think he's got like a 10,000 plus road rating and shit. Like, he's unbelievable, man. So it's crazy. You just like the small world of this whole thing is awesome too. I love it.
Yeah, man. I mean, when you think about iRacing, one of his Adam's claim to fame is he raced, Kyle Busch. He talks about that quite frequently. We've had guys that just randomly are like, look who I'm racing, and you would never think it, right? Like, it's an online game. What are the odds you're going to catch one of the Cup guys, racing?
The coolest, I've had two cool moments. One was when Michael McDowell absolutely waxed my ass in a Cup race one time. I can't remember where we are. I finished second by like 17 seconds or some crap, and it was like a short race. And then the other one was there's a practice session I did in ARCA car at Rockingham, and I was fastest by 1/1000th of a second over Elliott Sadler. And I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. I was like, that's pretty neat, right? So, but yeah, that's the best part about it is like I have that picture on my phone still of like my name, Elliott Sadler, and I've sent that to everybody I know who even knows anything about racing, right? So it makes
Don't
it
worry,
really
I do that
fun.
with Kyle Busch. I mean, I started third,
I'm
pushed him to the win, and then some dude, I have a video of afterwards where some dude came and just destroyed his car. He was sitting on the back straightaway of Talladega. That dude came in at like 200 miles an hour and just plowed Kyle Busch and sent him to the field.
Did you save the replay? I'd hang on that one.
Oh man, I got that,
time,
and I got
man.
videos as well of it. But yeah, it was like
Cool.
It was
That's
a carb
cool.
cup race, and I started third, and I pushed him to the win, and it was awesome.
Where you guys racing at this week?
It is fun.
We're going to Nashville. It's the All-Star race, and this guy over here is going to have to race his way in. I'm fortunate enough to have a win at Talladega where I don't have to race my way in. I can get into Nashville and just stink up the show, and from the get-go from there, I don't have to show off an All-Star race of how bad I am. Or the four.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's the short track. It's the fairgrounds. So there's going to be some pissed off people after I run through the field in about 10 laps. So it'll be a good time.
God. That track is murder for the dip coming out of 2 and 4.
Yep.
And then these cup cars with this,
it's unbelievable how bumpy it is. I love it. Yep. It's going to be awesome, man. I like that we did it though. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, like short tracks and just beating and banging is fun. It's one of the extremes, right? And I hope they eventually go back to this place in real life as well. And I think they will. The momentum seems like it's there, especially with
Nashville.
the
They're going to
Speedway
Nashville. It's
getting a
sold
race
out
this year again. So it'll be cool. Yeah, they're going to the Super Speedway. They're not going to the fairgrounds. 2 different tracks.
I wish they would follow the real life schedule, Cody, and go to Texas Motor Speedway for the All-Star race, because I would have preferred that over Nashville. The fairgrounds, that small ass track with these cup cars. It's cool when you have a smaller like ARCA or something, or maybe the Truck Series. But this torque is going to be one to watch there coming out of the corners for the Cup Series on Tuesday night.
Luckily, it's
I'll be amazed I'll be amazed if we make it like more than 3 laps without a caution.
Well, we have four prior races, four you could say heat races to get in there. So for the people out there watching, what's going to happen is we're going to follow kind of like the All-Star race format that we normally have, and we're going to have 4 heat races going into it. The winner of each heat race moves on to the show. And there will be 1 fan vote. So if the overall winner of the fan vote actually makes it in through the heat race, the second place in the fan vote will then move into the main show. So kind of just like how everything else works in NASCAR, that's how we're going to be doing it on Tuesday night, from my understanding. So if you're watching this and you have a favorite driver in the IVRL, go out there and like this post. We got this guy down here in the bottom right. He wants your vote, but there's plenty of other drivers. If you have other people out there in your mind and you want to vote for, go out there and vote. It's on the IVRL Butt Kicker Series page. We shared it earlier in the week, so you can find it through our Facebook page, or you can just search for theirs and go and vote for your favorite driver to make it into the All-Star race on Tuesday night.
If we've got a strong Ohio contingent, I'll take this off. We just go like that.
Well,
vote for me.
I will say one thing. It doesn't matter if they're from Ohio or not. It just seems like their fans are everywhere.
It's correct.
And that's coming from an Ohio guy, man. I've lived in Louisiana. I was there when we got spanked by Florida and LSU in the national title. I live in, North Carolina, and it just seems like Ohio State fans are everywhere.
It's like Browns fans. They scatter around the country. I went to a Browns backers event to watch the Browns when I was in Denver, and there were easily 300 people there.
All dressed in orange for the other orange.
Yeah, right. The orange and brown. So, yeah, man, this should be a fun race this week. Let's get some picks in for this. Since apparently we're going to have 2 different style stages, let's say who gets in and who wins the overall.
Adam, do you have the list of guys who are...
That's what I'm going to have to do right now.
Do you have the list of guys who need to qualify?
That's what I'm going to have to go and look up right now on Facebook.
I've already got it pulled up, so... Let's see, who has wins? Joseph Causey, Greg Holt, Brandon Massey, Will Cannon, Adam S. Wood, that's something I don't get to say very often.
Don't ever.
And that is it. Just because Joseph Causey has run away.
We've got some past champions that qualified too, right? I think.
So you got past race winners that were able to make it in there too. So the open drivers that we have to pick from from the 4, which is a small field. So if we got full races, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 drivers. So 14 drivers, 4 races. So there's about 3 to 4 cars in each one. So you got about a 25% chance of making it into the show there with it. So we got the 00 Scott Williams. We have the number 89 Joshua Gaithright, number 29 Ira Kohas, number 76 Charles Urick. It says Ryan, but then he probably goes by Ryan and not Charles. I call him Charles. All right, well, I have to ask him, man. He's my unofficial teammate. I don't know if I should be calling him Ryan in our team chat.
Really screw him up and call him Chuck.
Chuck. We got Harvey Abrams, Derek Sheeling, Mike Payne, Jacob Kaplan, Ryan Cleaver. I can't remember. I remember there's a big discussion of how to say his name. Our guy right here, Thomas Carino Jr., Nicholas Weatherby, and Jaden Gimble. And then Tyler Walden is the number 6 car that was not on the original list, but he said to vote number 6 at the bottom if you want to comment for him. So I think the 4. See, it's kind of hard. I don't know which 4 are going to be in what heat races, so it's kind of hard to pick which ones are going to be there. But I think the top contenders is definitely Thomas Carino here. He has been showing out. I mean, he's had a heck of a run. Me and him raced together for a while at COTA. Got some good battles there, and a little bit at Charlotte. So he's a good one. Nicholas Weatherby. I mean, he's been put on a clinic.
He's fast.
He messed up. He got in the sand on Tuesday night and messed up his run. That Sonoma sand will destroy your tires very quickly. Can't really recover. I think my unofficial teammate Charles Urick. He's been on a fire before we got to all these road courses. He's kind of stumbled since then, but I think he's going to have a good night. And Joshua Gaithright, I think he's going to have a good night.
I agree. I think the only other one I'd maybe say is Ira's been quick too, right? He's been up there beating and banging, but it'll be good, man. It'll be fun. If I make it, I make it, and if I don't, I don't. It'll be a good time. Yeah, well, that'd be nice. Maybe my wife will actually see me one of these nights. Then
it won't be 350 or 75 miles.
Yeah, that was. She hollered down the basement steps because that's where my rig is. She hollered down the basement steps and said, "I'm going to bed." And it's like 10 o'clock, and I was like, "Yeah, there's about 50 laps left still. I'll see you in a bit."
I think that's the one good thing about me having to move to Texas is I moved to Texas and everything's 1 hour back, so I'm not getting off at like between 8 and 9 and not 9 to 10 or 11.
That is nice. That is nice for sure. As far as the big race goes, though, man, I mean, I feel like Will Cannon's fast, and what's his name is fast. Brandon Massey's really fast at short tracks. I think he was really fast at Martinsville. So I obviously Joseph Causey is the favorite in my mind, but I think one of those 3 guys will get it done if I don't wreck them first. So we'll see.
It's hard to go against Causey at this point. I mean, I ain't got nothing to say about that guy. He's freaking fast.
I mean, Tito Racing as a whole, man, it's just it's been phenomenal this year. They're working great together on and off track. So can't wait to see what they have planned. Hopefully it's terrible because I need to go up there a little bit further in points. I know I'm going to miss the following week, whatever track they're trying to get rid of iRacing Super Speedway and move it to either Indy or was it Kansas, Kentucky, I think that, they were trying
Kentucky.
Yeah, they're trying. There's a poll up right now trying to get rid of it. I'll miss that race no matter what, but I still vote for iRacing Super Speedway. It's different than Daytona and Talladega. The corners are way different. It makes it a whole different track to run in, period, for Super Speedway. But everybody hates Super Speedways, so everybody's trying to vote against it.
I switched my vote. I switched it from Indy to iRacing Super Speedway. I figured we do enough of those, stretched out races. So I'm down to clown at that place.
You can go 4 wide there and not have an issue. It's
That's
delightful.
what I'm saying.
in
Well,
my
no,
mind.
there's always going to be an issue because somebody's always going to do something
Well,
dumb.
it's not only that,
Correct.
but you also have the fact that the runs that you get up top are different than you get at the bottom. I mean, you can still push, like unlike Talladega, which is a progressive same style banking at the top and bottom. iRacing Super Speedway kind of banks it like this, where you have a good banking at both at the top and bottom, and you can get a better run at the top. So that's what I like about it. And like you said, you can come off the corner 4 wide and just be a hunky dory, and then you're just pulling on everybody. So that's why I say go for it.
Yeah. Well, hey, this has been an awesome segment, man. Thomas, we're gonna have to get you back on. Just please don't wear that hat again.
You can wear that hat.
Next time I'll wear a racing hat next time. Sorry.
Absolutely enjoyed having you, man. The conversation's awesome, so I definitely want to get you back, man. It was great. So hopefully you'll be able to come back.
Thank you guys for. Yeah, no, thank you guys a bunch for having me. It's like I said, it's so cool to see people just so bought in and who care about the stuff and have fun with it, man. Right? Like life's too short not to have fun, and it's been a riot with you guys so far in the whole series, and this is it's really cool. It's really cool to see people passionate about racing like I am. So thanks, guys.
Absolutely, man. Well, that was a quick transition. I've been seeing a little latency issues on my computer, which is kind of throwing me off.
What is this devilry?
Yeah. The old Mr. Clean's in here, man.
The beard is here.
Fear the beard.
What's going on? Your mic cut out just a little bit. Go ahead and give us another test.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I got you.
man.
Much better.
Awesome.
So, guys, that was Thomas Carino. First off, seems like a great dude, man. Awesome to talk to him. Definitely got to get him back. I love the conversation with him.
Just knowing if we do bring him back, I will be wearing my Michigan gear.
Yeah, you're trash.
He's going to go full out, man.
Hey, Carl, I need a car painted, by the way.
Okay.
I'll send you my deets later.
No.
Is it the one we've discussed?
Well, it's going to be another one, not that one quite
Okay.
yet.
So
this one's dedicated to Josh.
So you guys missed out on Tuesday night there or a Wednesday night. So I won't spoil the surprise, but we're all working for a car or a truck. Yeah. Just want to let everybody know we have to talk in secret about this. The people who ran on Wednesday night, they all know about this, and we're going to all make this happen within the next 2 to 3 races.
If you're watching this, reach out to me. I will get everything arranged.
Joshua will be the one getting everything arranged for the truck paints. It's going to be an awesome time.
It's a gift for you guys.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Because we missed you so much on Wednesday.
Can't wait.
Oh, well, okay. Anyways, hey, so great conversation with IVRL. Like I said, guys, that was Thomas Carino, man. Great dude. Definitely going to have him back. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk AOLL. We're going to kick into the TNT series with our special guest, Philip Manzo, who I'm pretty excited to have on, man. So let's go ahead and let's take that quick break. Adam, are you talking?
The TNT Series Developmental Division for our beginners and those getting back into racing. The Cup Series for our veterans and Class A licensed drivers. The Sportsman Division racing the Gander outdoor trucks with drivers from the TNT and Cup Series. You can catch all of the AOLL action here on Ghostfire Media.
All right, we're back. Yeah, once again, all these damn filters. Welcome back. We're going through. It apparently muted desktop or the AOL commercial audio, but left the desktop audio on, so it was backwards.
So you got to hear all of them.
So for the first 3 seconds of it, I saw it.
Just a little bit of the behind the scenes of what you get to hear. We do conversate when commercials are on. We talk about. I wouldn't say we badmouth anybody, which we wouldn't badmouth Thomas. We was just talking about
open the next beer.
Huh?
The next beer.
Anyways, we was talking just little sidebar on latency issues, but now we're going to AOLL TNT series. So without further ado, man, let's bring Phil Manzo in. Little sidebar on latency. Hey, Phil, man, we can hear you listening to the podcast. That's what I'm talking about. Without further ado, man, let's bring Phil Manzo in.
How you doing, guys?
Hey, man, how are you tonight?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, so real quick, new guest, can you give us a little 411 about you? Your name, where you're from, car you drive, series?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
good. Hey, so new guest, can you give us a little 411 about you? Your name?
I think he may be running off of the podcast audio to where there's a delay.
Yeah, there is a delay.
Can you give us Let's see here.
There's a little delay here.
I think he may.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, if we could just get a 411 on you, man, and like I said, who you are, your car number, and what you run. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I'm Phil Manzo. I'm from Henderson, Nevada. Moved out here 6 years ago, and I run in the TNT series, and I drive the number 8 car.
I got you, man.
We missed you for a few weeks, man.
Hey, one second before we get into that. I think you're listening to the broadcast, and it's kind of bleeding in. So if you could turn off either mute the Facebook tab or however you're listening to it, because it's providing feedback into us for the broadcast, and that's kind of in. So
could also be me.
Okay, I think we're good now.
There we go. I think we're good. Yeah.
All right, appreciate it, man. All right, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about you.
From Henderson, Nevada. Moved out here 6 years ago from Rhode Island. Like I said, I drive the number 8 car in the TNT. I was working in a casino doing security. Now I'm at the Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders?
Doing security for the team.
That's a beautiful building. I went by there early last year, I think February.
Hey, I'm a Patriots fan.
I'm sorry.
We won't get into that because
thank God Nick's not here. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. We won't give you as much crap as we give Nick for being a Patriots fan, but we had a guest actually tell him that he was wearing a piece of garbage when he was wearing a Patriot hoodie.
Oh man.
We'll let you have it, but we don't give Nick those passes.
No. But hey, man. So I got to say, first off, it's wonderful to see you back racing with the AOLL, man. We missed you. We seen you in the TNT, the Legends cars. Kind of took a little break there, and then now you're back in the street stock. So
Arca
seemed like you had thank you, Arca. I don't know why you guys. I'm thinking street stocks.
Broadcast it. How can you miss this stuff?
Because I don't call out what car you have.
He has,
I'm just calling the action.
Raced was a street stock in TNT, so that's what he's only familiar with.
I'm pretty sure that's the last. I'm pretty sure that's the last thing he's ever raced. I don't even know.
Hey, he finished third in the Cup car once. Okay.
Well, with that, I gotta go get my wife the broom. I'll be back.
All right.
We scared him off.
It was fun.
Phil, it's great to have you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was fun last night. I took a few weeks off. I needed some time. I run 3 other leagues, so I was racing like every night. But getting back last night was a blast, and all I wanted to do was keep it clean. And I ended up bouncing off that wall. I kept it up against that wall for the longest time, so I wouldn't hit anybody coming down.
Well, I think only one driver kept it clean all night, and that was Sean Camodi. I mean, he was in the lead, so it's a little bit easier to keep it clean out there. I think all of us had some trouble at some point or another.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I ended with 14 incident points, and that was about the average.
Yeah, Sean he only hit lap traffic really one time, and he bided his time, and he lost a little bit of time to Cody Leland that was coming up on him, but then he was able to pop through and get by those last couple, and then it's when I think Cody got in the back of David Wright there on going into turn, I think 1. I think he got in the back. Dave braked a little bit sooner than he thought, and he just couldn't get woed down.
So we only had 5 people last night out of the 14 that weren't in double-digit incident points, and Phil, you were one of them.
That's all I was doing, trying to keep it clean. I ran a lot with Joshua Mays. I got to give him a shout out. He messaged me after the race, and he was like, "Thanks for door to door, side by each racing. It was fun." He thanked me for keeping it clean and giving him space.
Yeah, man, we were out there calling you, man. We were glad to see you guys or see you back last night and see you running up there good. I mean, you were up there at one point, and all these crazy cautions near the end. People kept getting involved in, pushed you backwards, pushed you forward. So there's a lot of differences there, but you were able to get back up there and run pretty good laps there and pretty consistent.
Thank you. It's all about short track racing. You're gonna have that banging and everything else.
Yeah, would have been nice near the end of the race. We'd had a little less banging. I think.
Yeah, it got a little crazy at the end. Hey, you know what they say? Cautions bring cautions.
That, no doubt about that. I mean, it was
Martinsville
clean for a little while, cleanish.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
Martinsville as a whole, for every race I've done this season in many different leagues, I didn't even try to do an official. So yeah, it's Martinsville. There is going to happen. You're going to miss your braking point. You're going to look to the left or right, and you're going to miss it, and you're going to get into the back of the person in front of you, or lock it up and slide it, and then somebody's going to get in the back of you for doing that. It's just short track racing. I mean, it's hard to be consistent for 100 laps total.
Yeah, it's a beast.
And in all honesty, we kind of called it last night. The beginning of the race, when you guys came from, and I know you wasn't there, but for Bristol, where the TNT series was with Bristol, to where the beginning of Martinsville was, in such a different track, but with its own challenges. But Bristol's extremely banked, right? It almost kind of helps you turn the car, it forces you to come down.
Yep.
As where Martinsville, it's more flat, so it's easier to blow those corners. The TNT series as a whole looked great. I'd say up for probably a good 50 laps.
Yeah, we were green flag for a while.
And that's what we thought was going to happen. You guys did a hell of a job for the first 40, 50 laps.
And just being away from, I want to say 4 weeks, coming back last night, I could see great improvements by everybody.
So I kind of want to expand upon that. If we want to go back to the end of last season, and even throughout the entirety of the Legends season, we watched you go from mid-pack to being an absolute challenge at the front. Was it just time behind the wheel, or was it just...
I'm new to this. I did NASCAR Heat on PlayStation. Kevin Dietz, and I was slot car track racing, and Kevin Dietz said to me, I worked with him, co-worker. He said to me back in the end of August of last year, he said, you like racing so much, why don't you get into iRacing? And he told me all about it, got me hooked up. I bought a new computer, new steering wheel, and it's like I'm married to iRacing. I mean, every night, man, I'm racing. I think it's just from getting the experience, learning.
Well,
go ahead.
Sorry,
Larry.
real quick. Yeah, man. So kind of like we were just saying, every night you're racing, and it's showing. That progression and that continual improvement is showing just from all the time you're putting into it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, you were back this week. Are we going to see you next week? Gonna see more after this?
I'm going to be here now until the end.
Okay,
Outstanding,
great.
man.
Yes.
It's a great league. It's my first league I've ever been in. You guys do a great job. Great job broadcasting. Great job, admins. The admins helped me out so much, especially Joe Dismore. Give him a shout out. I mean, you guys,
of AOL.
great bunch of guys. I mean, all the way around.
So I got a real quick question. I don't know if this was answered while I was gone. The nickname Hitman, man, I got to know where that came from.
I knew that was going to come. I want to say this
before you say anything. I love the fact that you added that into the SDK drivers. There is a Hitman Manzo on it. That's we see that every time. And that's how your name populates on all the scorecards for us. You know that, right?
You know, I was watching the replay today, and I said, "How do they know my name?" But it originally started where we're working in the casino. If somebody misbehaved, a guest or something, we 86 them, means they'd be off the property. To me, I always took it 80 miles out, 6 feet under.
Jesus Christ! you know. I think the best part is,
that's the way I took it.
Well, the best part is that he's
not that I did it.
He's like, well,
sure.
I work. Hold on, and this ain't making fun of you, but it's just, work at a casino, okay? And then I'm from New York, and then my nickname's Philip Hitman Manzo. I'm like, dude, does this dude work for the fucking mafia? Like, should I be afraid right now?
Don't wreck this dude.
Yeah, right. But no, man. Yeah, I had to know where that nickname came from. But I agree with the guys, kind of what they were saying, and with yourself, that the progression of the TNT series has been phenomenal. And I'm gonna throw it out there again. I know I say it constantly. Shrillo, who we haven't been lucky enough to see in a while, his progression has been monumental.
Yeah, he was good in the Legends. He was top running in the Legends a few times.
Well, I want to point out,
missing a lot of people. I mean, Mikey Keller, we missed Gene last night, but Gene's been running. Yep. Definitely miss Kevin. We want Kevin out there.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
And, I was just going to say, we talk about Anthony Scarella a lot, but, you talk about how, AOL was your first league, and I remember when you joined, we were at USA International. Your first race, it was Anthony's first race. It was my second race. And I can remember, like during the race, like the second or third corner, like I nearly ran you over. Or sorry, it was on a restart, like second or third restart. I nearly ran you over. And I was like, this guy doesn't even belong out here. But dude, like, we talk about the progressions Gorillas have, but man, you've really improved a great deal as well. Yeah. Just like Josh was saying earlier, I mean, it kind of went from, you were definitely one of the guys running at the back, and then you really became a solid mid-pack guy. And last season you were contending with the leaders. I know a lot of people have struggled a little bit. I know Anthony's talked about it before with the changing over to the ARCA car being a little bit of a struggle. Are you struggling with that as well, or are you picking it up pretty easily?
Well, I run the ARCA. I run a Friday night league in the ARCA, so I've been familiarized with it. But I know I'm talking to Machine Gun Keller, Mikey Keller. He's struggling with the ARCA. I think the new drivers that pick it up for the first time gives them a hard time.
Yeah, it's a completely different beast, especially considered to the little Legends cars that they're super forgiving. Unlike these ARCA cars, they're forgiving compared to, maybe the, Xfinity or the Cup cars. But, if you're not used to driving something like that, it will be its own little challenge, right? It's going to present its own challenges. And even with Mikey, and he's taken a jump, right? Like, I remember when Mikey first joined the league, you kind of like, when Mikey was going high, you were like, I hope this dude doesn't come back down on me. Please don't. And now it's, I mean, at one point, I think we seen him top 7, top 6 in one race.
Yep.
And running very strong. So, like you said, it's awesome to see all these progressions of all these guys as you guys continue to come through the leagues.
Well, but the bad part about it is everybody's progressing kind of at the same pace, so everybody's running. What that means is you're not running up front though, but what's showing on the track is clean green flag races. Clean
Exactly.
passes. You're getting there smoothly. You're not running in the top 5 or top 3, but you're running clean and door to door, lug nut to lug nut throughout the whole entire race. And if you make it an incident, it's just one incident in a race or one mistake that's happening. It's not constant underneath caution like spinning out, self spins, or taking somebody else out. Everybody's progressed to the point where wherever you can run that full race with cleanly. And everybody else is doing that, so it's really great to see the TNT series being able to do that.
I totally agree.
Well, and adding on to that, what I saw last night, I mean, look, I certainly wish there were less cautions last night. I mean, you guys have heard of me on chat. I genuinely think I would have won that night if there had been less cautions. But regardless, the kind of cautions we were having last night weren't the kind of you look like last year, some of the TNT series, like the kind of cautions where it was like guys just doing stupid stuff. I mean, that wasn't the kind of cautions we were having last night for the most part. It was mostly like just over driving it in some cases, missing the braking point, that sort of thing. So,
I mean, we've seen 2 alone on the restart of guys spinning their tires in the high line at the front. Second place drivers, you know what I'm saying? Like,
talk about that one, please.
Well, that's like me. Like towards the end of the race, I was laying 6th, I think, at one time, and we had a restart, and I just got heavy on the gas because I wanted the top 5. I said, I kept it clean. I said, now it's time for the top 5, and I think I got into the gas a little too much. I got up into the wall, and I was hugging that wall all the way down the straightaway because I didn't want to bounce back off and hit somebody. Right. Especially missing 4 weeks. I'm not in the points system. So I definitely didn't want to take anybody out that was. But it was a blast, though. It was fun to be back. Like I said, Joshua Mays reached out to me right after the race.
Yeah, we panned to you at one point where you and
great bunch of guys.
You and Joshua had like a really good battle going on at one point. So me and Larry focused in on that. I mean, he was riding you hard, dude. He was right behind you on your rear bumper, giving you everything she got. But you guys raced clean there. It was awesome to see. There was traffic and battles all throughout the track, no matter if it was at the front, the middle, and the back. We're trying to get everybody out there because I mean, Martinsville is a short track. It's hard to pass, but it's easy to ride somebody and be in somebody's bubble and keep them trying to keep the person honest in front of you.
Throw them off. Totally.
Yeah. Now you guys are going to Talladega. Oh, sorry, Josh. Go ahead, man.
You literally just did what I was going to say. We're going to Dega next week.
Your great minds think alike, man.
How are you feeling with that one?
Hey, before you say anything, don't follow Nick. That's it. There we go.
Yeah, no. He will.
He ain't even here to defend himself.
Exactly,
on, man.
That's why I did it.
I actually like the super speedways. I always do well in super speedways. I won't have a drafting partner, so I'll have to hook up with someone. I'll sure find somebody.
And all I'm saying is there's 2 dudes right here that's got 2 other teammates. That'd be a set of 5. And they normally bring in 1 other freaking dude. So that would give you guys a set of 6. That'd be a heck of a freaking line to get pushed towards the front. I'm just saying, guys.
That'd be great.
If you look at the last super speedway we did, we had Tom Stevens busting out his first win in the TNT, followed by Gene Watkinson.
Gene, yep.
And
who would have imagined that?
2 people I couldn't be happier to see actually get that recognition.
Hey, and we had 4 guys. We have 4 guys miss pit road at the same time. So,
especially Gene. I actually saw that race. But shout out to Gene. I mean, he's 70-something years old. He just took up iRacing a couple months ago. He's dedicated. He's racing, trying to learn. He takes all the advice in. So it was great to see him run second in that.
Yeah, I agree. And Gene has like messaged me like on Facebook multiple times. I know he's messaged Josh before, like trying to look for advice on, and one thing I will say, like there are sometimes guys who will like ask like, how do I get faster? And that's not a very good question because I don't know why you're slow. If you can come in and ask like a targeted question, like, hey, I was behind you and I noticed that you could get into the corner you know, you get to the corner a lot faster than I could, and I was having to brake a lot. What are you doing different? And Gene would ask those kind of questions, very targeted, which I think that's one reason why I've seen him, improve in a lot of aspects.
Right.
Telemetry.
He's a funny guy too. If you get to talk to him, and he doesn't mean to be funny. He just things he says just comes out. He's naturally funny.
I spent a half an hour in a practice with him one time, and yeah, he's one of those personalities that I love having around the league.
Yep.
Just good guy, and yeah, as Carl said, he's reaching out to the right people, he's asking the right questions, and we didn't see it last night because he wasn't there, but at Bristol, he was running quite well and much better than we'd seen from him. So it's just fun to see. And again, it's all about that progression.
Right.
It's always going to be fun to see the guys that you least likely, see on a normal basis up front to just see up front. And that goes for any of the leagues, right? Like, with the Truck Series, Cup Series, you have your guys week in and week out that your top 5 guys that you're like, they're going to be there, right? Like, but if it's me or if it's Adam, like, and no offense to Adam's solid, 5 to 10, but if he's within the top 5, I'm like, dude, it's awesome. It's awesome to see him up there battling with those guys. So, it's kind of one of them things that it's always great to see the guys that are at least, you least expect.
Right. Like me, I mean, I think I joined the league in August of last year. I mean, I didn't even know how to pit the right way, coming into the pit, I hit somebody, just no experience, but just stuck with it and learned and listened to a lot of people, in AOL. I learned a lot from different admins. Now I feel comfortable, and if a car is going to come up on me, I let them pass me. Go ahead, you're faster than me, pass me. Usually by 2-3 laps, I'm going by them again. So
yeah.
It's give and take.
Well, and it's that theory on you're letting them go by and hoping that they're wasting their tires, as where you're not. And that's why they're that little bit faster. And like you said, in a couple of laps, you're probably going to pull back up on them and overtake them because you're not dropping off, but they are.
Right.
So Phil, one thing we've seen, we've talked about your progression, how you've come, so far already, but you've kind of been sitting in that, solid, like, 6th through 10th, maybe 6th through 8th kind of area. What's that next step? What do you think you have to do in order to be a consistent front runner?
Learning the tracks, learning the best lines, I think, will help me improve, be faster, and the experience. I mean, it all comes down to experience.
So I'll help you with learning the tracks. Join the AOLL. I post all of my practice laps. Carl does too. Blake will have laps out there to where you can just run a few laps, compare yourself to where they are. You'll be able to see what their line is, where they're braking, all of that stuff. I've looked at Blake's laps more than I should.
I was just about to ask that, as a collaboration for the league in itself, developmental, right? If, say, like Blake or one of these admin guys were going out and laying down laps and putting those within the VRS, so that way guys could go and look and see where they're losing time at. Because kind of like you said, I mean, you may not be asking the right questions. I've learned being a friggin' help desk person, nobody's ever going to ask the right questions because most people don't know how to word the right question, right? Like, what's the easy question? How do I get faster? What do you mean, how do you get faster? Where am I losing time at? What do you mean, where are you losing time at? You don't know how to answer it, but they don't know how to ask it. So if there is that VRS and everybody's using that and everybody can compare, and I'm not saying competition with the drivers, right? I'm morely saying like Blake or one of the, Joe or something like that, just run some laps and throw that data in there. That way these guys can take a look at it. Is that a thing that is there? I know, like you said, Josh, you're doing it and stuff like that, which is awesome.
That's free. I mean, there's a free thing. You can join one group or one team. AOL has a big team. Like the Monday nights, I know you run other leagues. So if you can't get out there, or if you can run at least 10, 15 laps, if you can't get out there after your league, I don't know what days you do, but Monday nights, or no, you guys practice on Tuesday nights. Sorry,
Tuesday nights.
Sportsman. Yeah, Sportsman's Monday night practice. So Tuesday nights, go out there and run some laps. You feel where you're fast, where you're slow, then you hop on the VRS. You can look at, like I said, Josh, Carl, and quite a few other people. I know Blake sometimes hops in those TNT practices. He'll run laps. You can pick all these guys' brains through VRS as well and see where their throttle inputs, where their brakes, where their steering, kind of like these guys are doing. So that's another way to do it. And then, once you compare that, you go back out, try to do it. If you can't do that, you go, damn it, Carl, how did you do this? I'm looking at it. You were able to carry the throttle in much longer, X, Y, Z. That's how you find the right questions.
Yep. And just to add, I mean, Blake always has laps up there because if he doesn't run practice, usually he's had some laps when he was, I guess, first setting up the schedule. At least he did last season. They every single track had been run on at the beginning of the season. So, we should probably maybe get something going. One of the admins, get everyone invited, because it's a great tool to have.
I know,
and I think it should. Sorry, real quick. Adam, I think that, like you said, I think Blake should be the one. I mean, he's the league admin.
He's already got out there. If you look in the AOLO group page,
I don't get to see it, so
no, it's very deep. He invited everybody within the league late last year.
Thanks, Blake.
It's
if you need someone to jump on at some point to help you make sense of it, myself, Blake, again, I nerd out on the stats in many situations because that's what I do every day in my real world job. But I'm more than happy to explain it to you. You wouldn't be the first and you will not be the last.
All right.
And it honestly, it takes a little bit of practice down the road, but especially if you get to the premium tiers of VRS, they have professionals that put down laps to where you can just go through, see what they're doing. Most of the time they're running some absolutely just boutique setup that makes it to where they're 2 seconds faster than you. But in all reality, you can at least gain, about where they're breaking points. Mm-hmm. What's the line they're running? And it's absolutely just amazingly helpful because sometimes you just don't know the track and you need at least a little guidance.
Right.
Because you'd never guess to run a diamond at Darlington just off of a whim.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So all right, we're moving into Talladega next week. Let's start doing predictions of that. I mean, like we had Daytona. We had a first-time winner, Tom Stevens. Will we see a repeat first-time winner? Who do you guys think? We'll start with Phil and we'll work way back around, and I'll be the last one.
That'll work.
All right, I'm going to go out on a limb. Since Mikey Keller's not running, I'm going to pick Gene Walkerson to win it.
I like that.
He was second last time. I'm not going to argue that.
I like that. I'm gonna go. I'm also gonna go on a limb. I think we're gonna see another first-time winner again. Great equalizer. It's a plate track. Let's go, David Wright.
You took mine. You.
Well, I like going before people, man. Give me one, baby.
All right. So I'm gonna go with I'm not gonna say it's a left field pick, but I think we're gonna see the wily veteran get his first race this season. I'm gonna go with Mr. John Gordon because he's smart enough to pull it off.
Yeah,
And it's gonna be strategy the whole way.
yeah. John's a solid pick, and I want to pick like, oh, I'm going back and forth. Like I want to say, I mean, Sean Cremody has been just like dominant this season in a lot of ways, but I'm gonna pick John and Sean's teammate. I'm going Blake Ziti. He ran really well at Daytona. And while I'm on topic of Blake Ziti, I just want to make sure it is known. I've said it a few times today in various chat channels. Last night was not retaliation when I hit him. It absolutely was not. I talked to him afterwards. You can go back and watch the replay. I was on the brakes. I didn't lift when I hit Sean Hayes a few weeks back. I was open about that fact.
Oh,
I definitely did not want to get into Blake last night. I talked to him about it after. We're good. I like racing Blake.
real quick, Adam,
Blake.
before you go, Adam, I wholeheartedly believe he intentionally took out all of CCR in that last incident. So
No, I'm gonna stick with there are only like 3 people that I will not, or that I will hold a grudge against or think that they did it intentionally. Blake is not one of those people. We've all blown an entrance to a turn at a short track at some point or another.
It just made it
joke.
That one just made it look a little bit too suspicious.
Yeah,
Because he was a little sus, like the kids say these days. He was a little sus.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
But so my pick, I'm gonna go with a recent winner, Timothy St. Jean. I don't want to go with my teammate Cody Leland. He prefers short track, so I won't pick him for it. Even though it could be anybody's race, but I think it's gonna be Tim St. Jean. I think he's gonna wait patiently in the wind and get by everybody at the end.
I'll take him out before he can.
And
I'm kidding, Tim.
Mikey Keller in the comments picked Phil Manzo. Solid pick there. I can't argue with that.
And I want to say real quick, Phil, before you go, man, don't laugh about that, because again, we've seen first time winners at plate tracks. This is the ultimate equalizer, right? It's about keeping your nose clean. So just it's one of the things that we could pick somebody that normally is seconds off the lead, but in all honesty, they could be the ones that win the race. They could be the last car standing, right? So
Yep.
Because you could have a whole entire team plus other people just miss pit road and just destroy their cars.
Yeah.
Where I am going for a redemption race.
Yeah. but like for real, what Larry said. I mean, and going back, what a mistake we all made. Like, don't make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, if you are in contention at the end, like if you're on the lead lap and within range of the leaders on the last lap, who knows what can happen. So.
ARCA cars get some good runs.
Absolutely, man.
Yep.
Well, Phil, it was wonderful having you here tonight, man. We really hope to have you back, and we are happy, beyond happy, to see you back racing with the AOLL on Thursday nights in the TNT series, man. We can't wait to watch more of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I just want to say thank you to all of you. I'm very honored that you gave me the invite.
Oh,
we wanted to get to know you.
Bro.
We've been racing with you for months at this point and don't really know you. And
we're glad to see you're back, man.
You're almost like family at this point, where I see you more than I see my family.
Hey, I can tell you right now, man, because we try to do these invites following the race. We kind of dropped the ball on most of the leagues this week, but we talked about it last night. As soon as we got done, Adam said who we invite. It wasn't a question in my mind. So we're Phil. I was like, it's Manzo, and they were like, done.
Thank you.
There wasn't a skip a beat in that conversation, man. You were picked for that, man. We was just waiting for you to come back so we could bring you in here.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you as well.
Hey, we hope you have a good rest of your night, buddy.
Thank you. You too. Yes.
Awesome, man. Great. Another great interview, man. I'll tell you what, we've had two really good people on here tonight.
And I think our next guy just got sent on a fire call, so he's not going to be.
Well, we'll
he-
give it a little bit of time, and hopefully he can get back.
He just-
before the end of the
we
show.
can, in that process, give a little bit of background why we want to talk to Mr.
Well, we'll do that here in a minute. How about that? First
I
off,
don't know if he's going to be able to make it back. He's working tonight in the fire call, so
we'll see. I mean, worst thing is we'll see. Hey, anybody out there listening right now in the AOLL runs a truck series, cup series. If you want to come on, you got the time. You ain't busy. Shoot me a message, man. Come on. We can absolutely use you. If you're an admin, even better because I got questions.
Hey, in the meantime, Larry, how about you and I just try to finish our bottles of liquor?
who can chug the fastest?
God,
We're about equal, I think.
I'll finish my Truly and my pink koozie.
Hey, I did have a message from Fuel. One of the guys reached out to me. He might want to. He asked if if you guys had time tonight, we could bring him on.
Absolutely.
We can start the
Hey,
conversation. I didn't know if we are going to have any, but now it looks like we got some field fuel here.
Let's bring Fuel on. Let's get Fuel on. I'd say let's give him a little spot, man. I'd love to. Anybody out there listening right now that does not know what Fuel is, Fuel was the series we're going to be calling for Monday night. Carl and Josh have been running that league right now, running their, I guess the equivalent of Sportsman Series. I have to believe they call it the Sportsman Series. So
running the ARCAs, and right now we've run 2 official races to where we've run Auto Club in the ARCAs, and then first off, screw that track in the ARCA. And yeah, if we could get one of them on here, that would be fantastic. But I'm gonna bounce for a second because I have a cat.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Well, actually, what I was about to tell you is, let's take a quick break. Let's hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to start talking about the rest of the AOLL, and hopefully, we're going to have Fuel on here tonight. So it'd be a good night. So we'll be right back after the break.
Let's see if I can get it right this time.
The Guitar Attic, located 1672 and a half Ridgewood Avenue, just north of Flemish in beautiful Daytona Beach, is your home for used and vintage guitars. Whether you're looking for that collector's piece or that new guitar, check them out.
The AOLL Racing League began racing in the early 90s with Papyrus's NASCAR Racing and has grown over the decades, now racing on the iRacing platform. The AOLL has 3 divisions: the TNT Series Developmental Division for our beginners and those getting back into racing, the Cup Series for our veterans and Class A licensed drivers, the Sportsman Division racing the Gander outdoor trucks with drivers from the TNT and Cup Series. You can catch all of the AOLL action here on Ghostfire Media.
Hi, it's Pat Patterson, the racing guy. You're listening to the Ghostfire Media Podcast.
And we're back. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to start the discussion AOLL truck series as well as Cup series. Unfortunately, our guest of honor, we were bringing in the man himself, Johnny Down. He's not going to be able to make it. He's working tonight. For anybody that doesn't know, he's a firefighter out in Illinois, right, Adam?
Correct.
And he just actually went on a call. He's working tonight. Just went on a call, so Godspeed to him. Hopefully everything's all right. And anything that he's taking care of. I mean, obviously, anytime a firefighter's got to go out there, man, it's,
Hopefully it's a cat stuck in a tree or something.
Maybe he
hopefully not, because he ain't climbing
truck
up a tree to get it.
If anybody doesn't watch Ginger Hillbilly, he did a segment this past week.
Ginger Billy, I love that dude.
He just bought himself a fire truck.
That dude's hilarious.
I grew up around the fire business as well. My dad's the chief of the local one around me, and it's been doing it since the late 80s, and I got in it for about 7 years, and I decided that wasn't my life, so yeah.
It's a family trait then. Derek Schilling out there, he said, hey, man, he's loving the truck series, and, I want to say that it's cool to see the cross collaboration right now with IVRL and AOLL. Derek coming over. I believe you guys got another one from IVRL too, right?
That's the first one right now. Is the latest crossover was Derek,
which is awesome, man. Super great guy, man. Love that he's out there racing it and he's enjoying himself. So, but let's talk the truck series. All right, we didn't get to call this, but drama.
So,
right, the drama llama came out. That's what my wife calls it.
It was just a last bit. I mean, the whole entire race was a clean race. I think we had the one caution early up front, and after that, it was fuel strategy game, or at least that was my intention. And everybody else, I don't know how it went for Josh over here, but for me, I played it safe from our lap 30 to 48 fuel run. I made it 18, 19 laps, or almost 18 laps on a fuel run where everybody else is getting about 14 to 15. And then they're going to be playing it safe right there at the end from the 45 to 60 lap run to try to squeeze it to the end.
Well, so I was running 16 laps, and it was me not really pushing, but the very tail end of it, we had one caution early, and then I was thinking we were going to go green the whole way, and I thought, oh, this is going to be fantastic. I'm saving more than everyone else. I'm going to have 2 gallons left when I cross the line. And then a caution comes out with, 48 laps? At 48 out of 50?
No, we were at 60. It was
yeah, that's right. It was 60.
It was right there at the tail end.
So I think to myself, okay, I'm going to go in. I still have 2 gallons left. I'm going to get 1.7. 3 should be enough to handle the caution laps. And maybe if we had ended up having to do a second green-white checker, I'll be fine.
And iRacing said,
and then iRacing decides to throw the random delayed green.
At Pocono, one of the longest freaking tracks out there, we needed to have a delayed green. We went through turn 1 and then said delayed green. And you could hear Joe Dinsmore get on there and be like, delayed green. You gotta be kidding me. And I knew at that point he was dejected and pissed because I didn't think he had enough gas at that point to make the end. Because just like Josh just said, he just put the minimum amount, so you're spending the minimum amount of time.
The only reason I put the smallest amount I could in is because I had Joe in front of me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I ran a different strategy. I saved between the 30 and 45, and I was clutching it going into turn 1, 2, and 3 before I needed to, and just coasted through the corners. I think I ran 18, 19 laps on that middle run. I didn't scrub any tires really, so I did a 2-tire stop, and then I was blazing through the field. Instead of like a 15, 16 second pit stop, I did like a 7-second and was able to catch up some of that time that I missed by clutching and saving fuel. And when we came down to that last caution, I was able to put left side tires. I didn't think that would do anything for me, but I took 5 gallons and left side tires, and hopefully it was be able to do something, but wasn't able to do anything with it because of the way the cautions kept falling after that.
So I'm going to throw this out there. Our winner on Wednesday, Chris Piscini, teammate, decided to throw in the whole 5-gallon thing exactly like you did, Adam. Didn't say a word to the rest of his team. We thought it was common knowledge. And I'm just like, no.
So when did you run out of fuel? Wait, when did you run out of fuel?
So Josh didn't.
I would have, but I ended up taking, and when it delayed the green, I'm not going to make. Most of the time when you pit with a closed pit, it gives you an EOLL, and I'm just like, okay, I'm willing to take that, knowing that I was faster than a lot of the field on Wednesday. And I was just like, I'll make up some spots. And then it gave me a black flag, and it was a hold for 40 rather than an which ultimately screwed me because it just put me to the back of the lead lap cars.
Here, did you go in after the fact that after the delayed caution?
So he did the delay green, and then so we were still underneath caution. He was coming to 1 to go, the second one to go that we had.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to understand.
I may have been a little inebriated to where I didn't realize there was a difference.
Hold on. There's a whole reason why I'm asking this. Whole reason. Let Daddy talk, okay? Sorry, I couldn't resist that. So here's my thing, right? So with all this drama that happened, all right, we kind of talked about it in the team chat. It was under review because of this random delayed caution that iRacing caused, which caused an issue for guys that ran out of fuel, like a Joe Dinsmore and stuff like that. That could
that's a separate incident.
Hold on, listen.
But
they elected to stay out and not go in and get fuel after the delayed. They couldn't even run the pace lap, right? They're out of fuel.
So this is a separate.
Why don't we bring in our resident admin that's in the waiting room and
so the
hey Ed.
So what you're talking about is a separate incident. So we went back green and then had another caution after that.
Yes.
So we had a delayed green. Josh got a black flag for that delayed green, and he tried to get it cleared, but rules state he can't get it cleared due to that. So
it really doesn't bother me.
He just needed to be clarified. He was asking for it. It needed to be clarified over the radio that they're not going to clear it. Then he's like, okay. But then we went back green, and at that point we had another yellow, and but we only had one green white checkered. So that was our one green white checker opportunity. And then from there, you do yellow to the finish line. And then once you get to cross over the finish line, that's your results. And that's where we had issues.
But so here's my question as well on that, though. So as everybody that sees Ed Springer has joined the room, we did ask for a resident admin or anybody that was free tonight to come in. And it's great to have Ed in. And he's coming on cam. That's what I'm talking about. Ed, welcome, man. Awesome.
The darkest room ever. We thought Nick's room was dark.
I'm gonna say that's a Nick move right there.
Here's my thing. If one results to the other, right? So he elected to go down off of that designated, hey, there's this random caution. I'm not gonna make it on field. I'm gonna stop. Another caution comes out. Well, that delayed caution still screws other guys, but because they elected to stay out and run out of fuel, how can you penalize one person but not penalize the group, right? So it came down to, hey, do we revert back or do we just let it ride? And the decision was to revert back. Now, and when we had this discussion, I made it very clear. I was like, I don't understand any of this. I don't know why it's a discussion.
So the difference,
if you can't maintain pace speed, you're at the end, buddy. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't. Let me tell you.
So the caveat off of that, it wasn't the fact that Joe didn't get his spot back or whatever. It was the fact that Blake, me, Derek, Greg Wellens, and somebody else, we all got black flag by passing Joe underneath it. So I went from a 6th place finish to 17th, and Greg went to a 18th place, and so forth. So we went from having a top 5-10 finish to a light one. So that's where the admins had to go back and figure out how to correct the situation if it needed to be corrected.
So and then the correction was, it goes back to before the caution was called, which gives Joe a 3rd place finish. But if we would have rode with that caution, Joe can't even do the pace laps because he has no fuel. Do you see? Which is caused by the aspect of that delayed caution, because if there wasn't a delayed caution, Joe would have been fine. He would have been fine as well.
You said that wrong. It went back to when the final caution caused by Justin came out. That was the last caution of the race, and that froze the field. At that point, the very last one. At that point,
so
Josh already had the black flag.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why that stayed.
So they're kind of doing it like NASCAR. So whenever they can't make it back to it, the NASCAR throws it, they freeze the field. That's what their judgment they went off of, and then not the fact that during that last really long lap around Pocono under caution, Joe couldn't make it all the way back to the start finish line, and then
he made it all the way back.
Or he stuttered,
but he couldn't maintain pace speed. He couldn't.
He was doing about 28 miles an hour.
But that's what I'm saying though. He couldn't because of that delayed caution, the caution before. He elected to stop because he knew he couldn't make it. You see what I'm saying? That delayed caution screwed more than one person in this aspect.
But it was on iRacing. It was an iRacing delayed. It wasn't admin. If it was an admin, we could have a different discussion about it.
Well, if it was an admin delayed, I think the conversation is completely reversed there. I'm curious.
Yeah, I think what Larry's getting at is the delayed. It doesn't matter ultimately when the caution came out that we freeze at. Ultimately, the delayed caution is what caused the issue for everyone. So
Everybody.
why?
Well, it
why
caused the issue for everybody who chose the lowest fuel amount to get them that green white checker opportunity,
Which was Josh as well. That's what I'm saying, though. It still
But
affected
not everybody.
Josh,
Not
even though
everybody did
Josh
that.
came down.
I got 5 gallons. Chris Bassini got 5 gallons. There's a whole bunch of other people that chose.
But if Josh had stayed out and run out of fuel, he would have finished higher
than he did by electing to come down and take
say,
that. So he didn't run
But
out
if
of
he
fuel.
if he would have chose to get 5 gallons like I did in the previous pit stop, he would be in the same spot I'm in right now. He chose to make a race decision, and the race didn't.
But so wouldn't Joe. But Joe elected to stay out and run out of fuel and couldn't maintain pace speed.
But he did that,
So
and the
even
race
maintain
fell
pace
his
speed.
way. The race fell his way.
And this is why I'm not mad about it at all. Is ultimately it comes down to strategy. I made the wrong choice. Joe ultimately kind of did make the right choice.
Yeah, run out of fuel.
And that's why, like me, I'm not
Like,
going to argue it.
It's like I said in the team chat. If to me it was cut and dry. NASCAR always says if you can't maintain speed, whether it be race speed or minimum race speed or pace speed, you are flagged. If you cannot maintain one of those two speeds, and Joe couldn't maintain a pace speed, 28 miles an hour out of what? A 55, 65 miles an hour? But because he elected to stay out, I mean, that to me is and then obviously it wasn't a clear cut and dry within the rules of the league because the rules were more clarified. I don't want to call it modified, more clarified for the situations like that. So,
well, we felt like we had 3 choices. One was leave the points as they were scored by iRacing, which none of us liked. The second choice was freeze the field at the point of the yellow flag and score it there. And then the third one was score the field as they actually cross the start finish line.
Yeah.
And we had a pretty good discussion, and we went with option 2. None of them were perfect. And point of clarification: option 2 screwed me the worst, and that's the one I chose. But none of them were perfect. We had to do the best we could.
And as I stated, it's I'm not going to call it right or wrong. I mean, obviously, like I said, the rule book had to be more clarified, right? And that's what it was. It wasn't modified. It was clarified so we don't have this discussion, right? Like it's so there is none of that mix up. So it was is what it is. Heck of a race though. Pocono is a wild.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So I gotta ask Ed, were you, after you passed me on that probably around lap 35, 40, did you go into fuel saving mode as well? Because I was doing fuel saving mode and you just came by, I let you go on by, and then like about few laps later, I see you slowing back down because I think Blake Ziti flew by you, and then I came back by you. I didn't know if you're like, crap, I'm gonna need to save some fuel too.
Exactly. I realized, I said, oh crap, I'm about a lap short. So I went into big time fuel saving mode, and then I miscalculated and I actually went too far.
I did the same.
and it cost me, a couple spots. But in that final caution, I mean, I was in 9th place and got taken out in turn 1, which was unfortunate. But
that last caution, I want to know how Ross Gage, he must have thought that the pudding was at the end of turn 1 and really was just going all in.
What happened was he was a wave round car, and he was flied out coming around turn 3.
He was at pace,
and the green flag already dropped.
That was the case.
And he was able to just keep going, because I saw him. I was like, damn, he's got a hell of a run going down. He didn't pass anybody until he got past that start finish line, but everybody else was still in second gear, and he was already in 4th getting it.
He scared the ever-loving daylights out of me, because all of a sudden there's this shiny blue car to my left,
out of nowhere.
You're my boy, Blue.
And yeah, I had Brandon to my outside, and yeah, like no idea where he came from.
It's the disappearing man.
Yeah, no, that kind of scared me. I actually got some more admin questions. So I want to bring it back, right? Just one little quick segment. To the Martinsville race. No admin, which was unfortunate. We've seen a lot of incidents, and I don't want to word this wrong, but that probably should have caused an EOL, should have taken an EOL. In that manner, how would a driver give themselves an EOL without an admin at that point?
They'd have to come into the pits.
Okay.
Yeah, they just do a drive-through. You know, if nobody else is pitting, do a drive-through, or if other people are pitting, just pull in and let everybody pull out. You know, that's about the only thing they could do.
Okay, just curious. I mean, we've seen a lot of incidents that just could have been maybe, unfortunate that you guys wasn't there. We miss you out there.
You guys running the show from hell yesterday. We had a guy run a job on a server, and it wiped about 220 tablets that are used by nurses to do home visits.
Oof.
Yep. Yeah, that was yesterday was not a good day.
No.
Yeah, that's a fireable offense in any situation I've been in like that.
Well, the only way to get them back was to factory reset them and re-enroll them. The table that got deleted is not backed up by Microsoft. This is a Microsoft product, which sucks if you want to know the truth.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Microsoft products. And it was just
back it up
a long day.
Back it up to OneDrive. No, screw OneDrive. Go away.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. The Army's going to Office 365, and I freaking love it. Compared to what we have with Big Army at this point in time, this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The amount of play I get to have.
What's going to be phenomenal is me retiring and not have to worry about that crap anymore.
Yeah, right. So all right.
So I want to talk about the actual race before. We've already talked.
Okay, because I was about to move on to the next race.
So
I'll let you cut that one.
So, how did you feel you did last night, Ed? There, we'll talk about the positive things. And, we talked about the negative, the ending, and everything like that. So, how do you feel overall about the actual Pocono race, like from the get go?
And it was much more fun than Pocono's never been one of my favorites. But I put in a lot of practice, and I was decent. I could run middle to about 10th, pretty comfortable, and just had two bad mistakes. When Joe and them got sideways, I'm like, no caution came out, which I found hard to believe. Two cars, Joe is like virtually sideways in the middle of the whatever that back stretch is between 1 and 2, and smoke everywhere. So I check up, everybody else just keeps it to the floor, and I go from like, I don't know, 9th or 10th to about 20th, 23rd. So that put me a little behind, and I worked my way back up at the end, and then just had the unfortunate incident with Don, and raced with Don a long time, and I know he would rather take a punch in the face than wreck somebody. So
oh yeah, man. For me, Pocono was somewhat fun at the beginning. I was racing with Josh, and I think I had Brandon Bernhardt behind me, and I could catch Josh going down the front straightaway and get to his back bumper, but there was nothing I could do with it because by the time I caught him, it was going into turn 1, and then as I'm doing that, I get a horrible exit out of turn 1, and then Brandon Bernhardt's on my back door going into turn 2, and then the cycle would repeat lap after lap after lap.
And in the team chat, all I could say was, okay, Adam catches me going to turn 1, but by the time we get to the tunnel turn, he's dropping.
Yeah, because I think I have that so much extra speed that I'm not used to. It just pushes my car too much in turn one, and I get a terrible launch because I have to slow it down too much. And then once you slow it down too much, you lost all that momentum to go into turn two. That straightaway into turn two. So then I would lose Josh, but then Brandon Bernhardt's knocking on the door. But by the time he gets there, there's nothing for him to do as well. So the cycle kept repeating. I kept getting a really great turn out of turn 3 to catch Josh.
I have a deep love for Pocono because I said it in the TNT post race the week prior. It's the closest thing to a road course you can get in an oval.
It was more manageable in the trucks than I did in the Cup cars. I just hate the closing rate speed or the lethargicness of the truck on the track, but the handling of the truck is actually pretty good. I wish it would be a little bit more kind of what we saw on Sunday night with the next gen cars at Michigan, where we were able to, suck up to them, get past them, and then they blow your doors off the next corner. The revolving passing. That's kind of what I was hoping for. But it is what it is. It was still a good track. It was still good to go through. I had fun racing. Did fuel conservation, did too much. And then at the end, I was starting to catch a lot of people, and then all the other mayhem happened at the end.
So let me ask a quick question, and I want to direct this towards Ed. Again, Ed, hey man, thanks for just last freaking second jumping on, man. That's awesome. It's amazing to have you. I know there's guys out there, man, that throwing out, "Hey Ed, man," they can actually see your face. So,
hope it scares them at the track next time.
Think about me.
So
put my face on the bumper.
I might have to get that. Hey, Carl, I'm gonna need you to put that on my car, man. And the car that we were talking about too, Carl. If you remember, yeah, okay, all right. Anyways, so my question to you, Ed, is we've done, well, not me, but you guys have done some practice races with the next gen cars. It seems like these things are getting just rave reviews from everybody. Everybody's loving these cars, the way they're driving, the way they're drafting, everything. As an admin, why not think about moving the Sportsman Series to the next gen car to not only get the Cup drivers ready to adapt to those cars for next season, but your TNT drivers to adapt that are going to move up? That's a little leg up to bring that competition up for like guys like Josh and stuff like that, right? I mean, so why not think about that move?
Because Carl wouldn't stay in the booth.
That's not a bad thought. It's not a bad thought, but I mean, I think a lot of people really enjoy the trucks. It's different. It just gives us a totally different adventure every week from the Cup. And I don't think it'll be, I think as soon as they get a little more time on the Cup cars, on the next gen cars, I don't think it'll be that long before we see more of us going to them. I mean, not for the full season, this year, probably not. But man, what I'm excited about running is that Super V.
Oh yeah.
No, hold on. I don't know what this is.
It's like it's like a Skippy's car, but a little bit better.
It looks like a soapbox derby car with a lawnmower engine in the back of it.
It has less downforce than the Skippies, which makes it that much more treacherous to drive.
And it's a free car, right?
It's free.
Yeah.
We should do a fun race with that.
Oh, I think when they come out at when the next season starts, that I think that is definitely going to happen. We've several of us have already been talking about it. That would be a good Friday night.
GFM next fun race that they're out.
Winter Series. Now that Carl's already got the next fun race done. That's his baby.
Carl's ideas for that is brilliant. And
he put on his evil hat again, and
that was Josh that did that last one.
Me.
So Carl's got.
I had a blast calling that one. That was a lot of fun.
And what I've got caked or cooked up is not. Yeah, I know. I'm not even drunk. It's not evil. It's just different. So I think everyone's gonna really enjoy it.
So
that last one was definitely fun.
I agree on Ed though that the
his is a whole lot nicer than mine.
Yeah, it's going to be. I agree though, Ed. The trucks do bring a different dynamic for it. I do have a blast more driving the trucks than I do the current Cup cars. I think it's a lot more fun. I just hate the tracks we kind of go to. I'm glad I'm not racing this Japanese twin ring whatever next week.
It's kind of like Darlington.
So I don't even own it, but I'm not going to be there.
Literally Darlington, just a little less historic. We'll call it that.
I'll be about 2 hours north of you come next Wednesday, so I'll be back over there on that side of.
Are you going home?
Yeah, I'm gonna be taking some R&R here from Texas. Go pick up my family, drive them back out here for the summer, and then they'll be out here for about a month and a half or so, and then we'll take them back in August. So get some family time in while they're out of school.
Oh, that's cool.
So since we actually have multiple Cup drivers, and we actually have Larry, who's not
Finished
here
third
right
once.
now, who's actually going to run this week, apparently.
That's what he said last time, so we'll see. He said, I'm practicing for COTA. I put in 4,000 laps. I'm going to be out there for COTA. And he didn't show up.
Yeah, no. He really wants to milk that third place he got at Bristol Dirt. He's probably not going to show up for another. Oh, wait, no. He broadcasts the trucks at Bristol Dirt, so he can't run it.
Yeah.
So, Ed, we're going to Charlotte next week. How are you feeling about getting back to the 1.5 miles?
Yeah, Charlotte is probably one of my top 3 favorite tracks. And I went and ran it in practice, and man, it is slick. The setup, it can easily get away from you. It's not what I remember driving previously. It's changed a little bit, kind of like everything has since they did that last major update. It seems like everything is a little bit different. But I like it.
Driving the Camaro, or are you driving something else?
Mustang.
Okay, they fixed that. They fixed the Camaro issue. That hot fix came in week before last, right after they did the iRacing Coca-Cola series that everybody got screwed on.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for a top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I put in about 375 miles the other week with IVRL. I think I've kind of set in. So I'm looking forward to Sunday night. I'm looking forward to Charlotte. I did good. I think last time we went there for the Cup Series last year at some point, I think I grabbed the pole for it. I don't think it'll ever happen again, but I like Charlotte. So, I'm hoping, like you said, get a top 10 out of it. Battle nutrition. Everybody's going to slap the wall, come out of turn 4. It's always it's got that progressive banking at the end right there that wants to sling you out there. So if you get a bad exit or try to push it too hard, you're definitely going to have a hard time. Either going to lose a lot of speed or you're going to try to push it to the limits and smack that wall.
So let me just throw this out there for all of our listeners. We do have Larry Patrick coming back finally.
I don't know now at this point. Shoot. Just for our listeners, my PC decided to take a crap on me last night, and I'm running off the laptop. So, the funny thing is, I'm going to spend the day tomorrow. I'm going to try to troubleshoot the computer, and if it doesn't come back on, then I guess I'm going to set up the laptop and hope the laptop will run my VR. And
so I just want to make sure all the listeners know the last time Larry ran at Charlotte was in the TNT at the end of last season. Larry finished 11th in the TNT behind both Carl and I, and Chris Oliver won.
Yeah.
So Larry can't even say that he finished in the top 10 last time he ran.
All right. First off. All right. Since we're going to bring this up, had somebody been able to hold their line when I made that beautiful move there in that tri-oval, we wouldn't have had a caution. Okay.
Wait,
then John Gordon.
Are you thinking of Vegas?
Was that Vegas?
Yeah, you're
Vegas is the one we went on the apron.
Well, then as far as Charlotte goes, I don't really care.
The Tito's is showing up there.
I ain't drinking enough Tito's for that, buddy. This is called just agitation from a computer that doesn't want to start.
Granted, he does have a teammate that is good at those 1.5 miles in Josh Hanner that may be able to pull him to where he may be able to match his Bristol dirt finish.
Hey, I just want to point out, Mikey Keller called it. He's taking me in the cup.
No, he said
Adam.
He
or
said
Adam.
number 45, the first one, and then he's like, or there's that other guy, maybe.
But see, here's the thing: is he at least threw me by name? He threw you by number, buddy.
Because he doesn't remember what number you are. You keep changing, and you haven't ran in 47 years.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Touche. Well, we had a little light on Ed here, and then it went away.
I still see him.
No.
Well, I still see him.
No, I opened a browser window so I could see the chats.
So there you go.
Blasted me with white light.
So we'll go around the horn. Who do you guys think will win Charlotte? Charlotte's always been a fun one. It's anybody's game up front. We have a lot of people that are great in 1.5 miles. I'll go first, and I will put out the guy that I know that's kind of been pretty good up there with the 1.5 miles, and that's my good old buddy, Steve Gottschalk.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I want to pick my teammate Josh Hanner, but that feels
Piscini's coming up, isn't he?
Hmm.
Is Piscini's coming up, isn't he?
I think Piscini's coming up, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it's gonna be this week or not. But just because I didn't show him any love last time I was on the podcast, I'm gonna pick Blake Gordon to win.
There's the bromance coming back.
I couldn't resist.
All right, what about you, Ed?
I didn't want him to think that I had left him.
If Piscini comes up, he'd be my pick. He has been really, really solid.
That's your choice if he comes up, right?
Yeah. If not,
he's there.
If not, hard to pick against Jason. Jason, not really a fan of, if I remember right, not a big fan of the 1.5 miles. And it's just hard to pick against Blake. I mean, he's there every week. And Joe, man, it's after Chris, I think is right now just seems to be in his own class from my observations.
I think Josh Hanner's been in the Cup as well, though. I mean, he's won on quite a few different tracks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in his wheelhouse. I know when he says it is, he is, and he's up there running. So he's put on a tear since he's been.
I will interrupt you with that one because we had the conversation earlier in the closed circuit racing chat. Right now, I am the reigning champion of Charlotte. I've been drinking a lot tonight. My wife is currently on her way to Virginia. So I threw it out there, and I was told that I will not be finishing this weekend being the reigning CCR champion of Charlotte. Honestly, I have to throw it out there that Josh Hanner is the reason why I learned how to do Charlotte as well as I did. And honestly, he's my pick for the win this week.
Hanner's good.
He's amazing on the 1.5 miles, and he kind of coached me to the win in the TNT earlier this season. And I can't bet against him.
Well, Hanner's good, man. I have to agree with Ed, man. First off, these dudes that are coming up, the Hanner, Piscini, I mean, they're my teammates and stuff, whatnot. But dude, these dudes are fast. It's sickening. They're not only matching these guys like Justin and Blake, but they're just. And we know they're running in leagues with each other, so they're learning from each other. So I want to point out there real quick, I'm waiting for that data to come through on the website so I can look at your guys' lap times and see where you guys are so fast at, but haven't seen that yet. But hey, in all seriousness, Hanner said that he was going to watch this just that way he could get my pick at the end of it. He said, I wanted to know what Drunk Larry says. Not that quite drunk yet, but I'm going to take Hanner as well, man. Dude, Hanner is, I love what Piscini's been doing. And he is, it's nice to see some fresh faces up there running against Blake and Justin and Steve and Joe and Adam.
And I mean, any of those guys could win is what's kind of scary. I mean, there are 7 guys legit, and Johnny, who is really good at Charlotte, I don't think is going to be racing.
You got Dan Shirley up there too. Dan's been
about
on
that.
hot
You're
streak
right.
lately. If he can just master that last lap, man, then he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
I'm picking Dan because I don't want to give him the commentator's curse.
Dan Shirley's fantastic. I jumped into practice last night, like as it was closing. I think there was only 10 cars that had practiced. And I got a lap in because I thought it was running till midnight. And I was wrong. Apparently ran till 11 o'clock.
They cut it back so they can add an extra hour on Sundays.
I remember that afterwards. Hadn't been racing.
Was Williams still the fastest?
No, I think, and I want to say you'd have to check, but I think it was Piscini. I want to say Piscini actually practiced and he was the fastest. I know Hanner did not practice, and I seen a name I hadn't seen, but I did see some guys, that wouldn't normally, Blake, those guys. I didn't see any practice laps from. I don't know where they're standing at, but he was the only one in a 29, I think 9.
So I can actually throw this out because I joined it not because
I know you didn't have any recorded laps. That's the reason why I was like,
I joined just because I really kind of wanted to. And I realized, my wife's leaving for a weekend. I may want to go hang out with her.
Nah.
It's weird. I kind of want to stay married. But no, I just brought up the results. Piscini was first, followed by Klingbeil.
And always fast in practice.
Yes. McFerrin. And then Mr. Ed Springer.
Yeah.
Winning practice don't get you anything.
And that's a factual statement, right? I mean, it shows you could throw a hot lap down.
Running in that dirty air and tire management at Charlotte is key. Your car gets thrown around just a little bit while running behind somebody else, and then not burning your tires up. And that's kind of what we saw, not last Tuesday, but Tuesday prior in IVRL for that long stint there, is people burning up their tires. And I was able to capitalize and catch people near the end of runs that, pushed too hard at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, and with that right there, that'll end this segment. That was phenomenal. Ed, hey, man, thank you so much for jumping in here last minute, man, and answering a lot of questions that I personally myself I had. And I hope you didn't feel like you got bombarded as soon as you
Oh, no,
came
not
in.
at all. Not at all. I mean, I knew whatever we decided, somebody is not going to be thrilled, So all we could do was make the best choice that we felt we could make, and explain our reasons if we're asked. I mean, I don't need. It's all you can do.
No, 100% agree with you, man. Again, thanks for coming in. Love to have you on camera, man. It was phenomenal to actually be able to see your face. And
but I'll tell you what I'm still wondering about real quick is all right, so in the future, if a guy runs out of gas like Joe did and he's coasting and he can make it across the start finish line, but other guys pass him, they're going to get a black flag. So I don't know. I hadn't read the rule, actually. I hate to say that, but so I don't know if Johnny addressed it or not, but will we score them as they cross the start finish in that case?
I don't know. I got a black flag by I got a black flag just following the leader. So I wasn't the person. I mean, I did pass Joe, but I did it by following the leader. I was like 3rd or 4th after that aspect. So it wasn't my decision totally to pass, but I followed the leader and I got a black flag. So, if we scored it however iRacing did, I went from, a 6th place finish to 17th.
So I've actually got the rule pulled up here, the updated rule. What it says is, and this is a little long, but I'll read through the whole thing. Pace car speed should be maintained at all times under caution. Drivers who cannot keep pace speed under their own power will be given an EOL unless they pit to avoid other drivers getting black flagged. In the event there's a driver that cannot maintain pace speed on the last lap during yellow, other drivers will be allowed to pass that driver even though they may be black flagged. The admins will adjust scoring by the order as to how the drivers cross the start finish line.
Okay, so he did address it. I apologize because I had not had a chance after my day in hell from work yesterday and today. But so that's good because that takes care of it in my mind from moving forward.
I agree with you 100%, but then I'm sorry, I've got to play the devil's advocate. Didn't we just kind of go against completely just ruled?
So the only thing that would have changed
in that rule, did we not?
There wasn't something in black and white.
But the only thing that would have changed was Joe would have went back about 5 spots. I would have finished 5th instead of 6th. What had happened was I finished 17th and not 6th. So that's the rule change that the admins made now, is that I moved back up along with all the other people that got black flagged. What the rule clarifies would be Joe would have been pushed back to wherever he finished. He was able to catch back up to speed with. So if he went from 3rd to 9th, and that's where he was, ran out of fuel or be able to putter to the line, he would have finished 9th, and I would have moved up to 5th. So the rule, what I believe, coming from an older admin aspect of it, I think the rule 2 was the solid rule instead of over rule 1 and 3, or option 2 over rule option 1 and 3. If I was still an admin with AOL group, I would have went with that aspect, because 1 just screwed everybody for the most part, except for the people that were further back in the pack that got those free 6 spots. And then the option 3 really didn't make any sense.
So here's the thing. Here's the funny thing is, you think about who it didn't screw. My thing is, though, who did it screw? Did you not put enough fuel in your car if we run the extra laps? That's your fault. That's not anybody else's fault.
But see, that's
your fault. That's the reason why that
very valuable lesson in this
exactly.
process.
And for the fact that now all of a sudden you've not only created a rule that contradicted your decision, I have an issue with that.
Well,
the rule was made
after the fact.
The rule was made in hindsight when we've had we've had time to figure out how can we address it so we don't have this mess. I mean, we had to deal with the mess with what we had on black and white.
You can't penalize somebody for a rule that didn't exist. You had to go by the best case judgment of what happened at that time and make a rule to justify the move forward, so that will never happen again. So if it did happen again, or if that rule was in black and white at the race, Joe would have finished wherever he finished, and I would have moved up along with everybody else that passed him under caution.
So again, and this is all I got to say about it. I agree with you. Now the rule is the rule, and the way they ruled is the rule. I mean, it's the admins. So the way they rule is the rule. But at the end of the day, the ruling now that they just took because of the lessons learned, I got that. It's lessons learned, contradicts from the decision that was made off the aspect of
that's how every rule's made.
Hey, you didn't turn around enough fuel in your car if we went green and white checkered prolonged like Josh did. Instead, you accounted for this, and then you got screwed off of this, which he ensured he did not.
What every rule comes from some other mistake. Every rule.
That's the biggest thing that
still my issue.
For me, I didn't know what the rule was, and I wanted to finish. I pitted assuming that it would have been an EOLL, which is, in my personal experience, that's what pitting under a closed pit gives you. And I knew I was faster. I could make up many positions in that process, but it ended up being a hold for 40, which screwed me. Yep. That was me not understanding iRacing's programming. And again, I accepted it when I was told no. Okay.
And but at the same at the same time, Josh raced his race, Joe raced
on the
his
lead lap.
Exactly. And a misclarified rule benefited one and didn't benefit.
It did not mess up Josh one bit. That rule did not mess Josh's finish up one bit. Josh made his own mistake by coming into the pit,
but it benefited one other person.
It did not. So that rule did not benefit any other person.
It didn't.
If it all came underneath the one same
misclarified rule that's now clarified did not benefit another person. That's what you're telling me.
If Josh
a rule made after the fact doesn't benefit something that happened in the past,
and to where there wasn't something that was clarified.
But that's where we don't. That's where we're getting that.
But if
or at least
no, so if Josh and Joe both had the exact same problem on the exact same caution, I would agree with you. But there was at two separate incidents. Josh pitted underneath a one caution. We went back green. The race froze whenever the next caution came out. So there was a different incident. If it came out underneath the same incident and Josh got penalized and Joe didn't, I would be under 100% agreement with you. But these are two separate incidences where Josh got penalized for pitting underneath green.
But here's the thing. Why did the last caution happen?
Because
of a driver at full pace, right?
That was 100% something we need to. That is not going to be necessarily relevant.
Like I said,
if we look at what brought out that last caution, I didn't spin into anyone, and Ross was literally directly next to me, and someone else did spin because suddenly there was a car that was at full pace as we hit the line, managed to make up a ton of spots, and I'm not going to hold that against Ross because that wasn't literally as we were saying no, we aren't doing a delayed caution, I thought to myself, these guys are going to have so much of a run on us that exactly what I was afraid of happened.
Well, and if you remember, they asked if we wanted to delay the caution to let them catch, and the admin said no because we knew that people were going to be out of fuel. I didn't know who, but I knew somebody. If we delayed it another lap on us, that was definitely going to cause people to run out of gas.
And I agree with that call because, again, some people are going to realize I'm coming up to the back of the pack. I'm going to file in behind the back of the pack. But then we have
that wasn't the last caution, though. That was not the last caution.
He's experienced and knows if I manage to hit the line on the left side before anyone in front of me, or after everyone in front of me is, and I'm 50 miles an hour faster, I'm going to be able to fly through that pack.
I think it was like 100 miles an hour faster.
I'm not going to argue with the fact that Ross got an advantage, got up there, but it ultimately caused a few people to freak out. But at the same time, everything was within the letter of the law per the AOLL.
That didn't cause the last caution.
No, it didn't. Justin Anderson caused the last caution in front of me.
He just said that.
Yeah, Justin Anderson. So when we went back to green after the delayed caution, after Josh pitted, got his black flag, we went back green. We came out of turn 2, and Justin Anderson slid up just a little bit too much and got too free and slid into Derek and pushed him against the wall. And then Justin broke loose, and then that caused the caution.
Did Ross cause any incidents back there?
No.
He caused what caused the last green-white.
The second to last caution.
Sorry, inebriation, and
that was
Josh
second to
has
last.
To pee, so I'm gonna.
That's the reason why Josh was pushed to the back. At that point we went underneath caution again, which caused our green-white checker, and then the delayed caution happened. We went back green, and then Justin Anderson hit Derek, and that caused a final caution where then we did a parade lap around the whole entire track.
I'm going to leave it at this due to time. I'm going to digress.
If you were there, you would have seen it, and you would have called it a little bit differently. You would know what exactly happened.
Here's the thing, Adam, and this is what nobody, at least you're not understanding from me. You can't make one ruling off of somebody making a decision of saving fuel or adding fuel to make sure that they make the end of the race.
They didn't make that call.
The decision was made. He made that decision.
Nobody made that
decision.
They clarified a rule because that needed to be clarified. There was that's how rules came about. You don't if you found out there's a way to manipulate something, or there was a non-clarification to a particular set of area. Once that issue happens, you go, crap, we should make a rule about that. And that's what
obviously
they did.
there was a rule made about that.
They made it after it happened. That's what happens. That's how rules are created.
Adam's saying exactly right. I mean, we were stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to figure out the best way to proceed forward. So we made a decision, and then we said, now we got to do something so we don't get in this situation again. And that's what we did. If they contradict, well, they contradict. But we did the best we could in the moment.
You can't penalize. You cannot penalize somebody on this race for a rule that's not there.
That's where I'm not faulting the admins. But the fact is, I can sit there and literally argue the fact of, well, he wasn't going to make it on fuel, but he couldn't hold pace speed. But because this extra caution lap came out, it wasn't his fault that it came out, but he didn't account for that in his fuel.
So that didn't come into the discussion at all.
What you're forgetting is,
and Joe was not part of this discussion.
The biggest
I know
issue,
Joe was not. I am tracking that.
The 100% biggest issue was the 5 or 6 cars that got black flags that lost a whole bunch of positions for no reason.
Because somebody could not hold pace speed.
And the rule now clarifies that the only person that would be penalized is the person
But we run everything on NASCAR's freaking point. What does NASCAR say? It's in black and white. Look at NASCAR.
So hold on. I haven't really said anything. I'm going to partially agree with Larry here. I mean, my assumption, if there was no rule created for that, my assumption would have been if I can't maintain pace under caution, then I would fall back. Like, I didn't even know other drivers get black flagged in that case.
But I did, and so did 5 other people when we got pushed back.
I'm saying
and then you gained the position.
I didn't gain any. I went from 6th to 17th.
You should.
You should have.
The person that can't maintain pace speed drops back.
I'm saying
you can't maintain 65 miles an hour. You drop back. It's your fault.
What I'm saying is, I think the rule as it is written now is how I would have assumed it already was. I would have assumed that's the way it already was, where you would have finished in 5th instead of 6th, or whatever it was. I mean, to me, that's just an assumption. I wouldn't have stayed out if I.
So the biggest issue, the reason why the AOL admins had to go back and clarify is because a lot of people were happy they went from a 14th, 15th place now to a top 10. And I went from a 6th place finish to a 17th place. So the admins had to go in and try to figure out what's the best situation is to revert these places back for the people who got black flagged.
So the point is what I'm telling you is, Adam, is I disagree with the actual judgment of where the driver that can't maintain pace speed is coming back to their position, but rather should have went back to the freaking end of the last person on the lead lap. He can still get across the finish line, so he still makes that lap. Even under pace speed, the person that's a lap down is not going to pass him.
I got you, and that's your opinion. And
but at the end of the day, anybody else should have moved in front of them.
There was no black and white rule to say where he was going to finish or not, and now it's clarified. They made the best judgment of what they had to do, but there was no black and white like there is now. So
that's why that's why we got black and white now.
Yes, and you can't penalize a driver for something that wasn't black and white. If it's not in the rules, how can you penalize somebody and say that no, you're not going to get that spot back?
I mean, can't penalize somebody for freaking touching a hot freaking stove, but I promise you, they still got a blister on their hand.
But the next time they won't do that, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. Because at that point it becomes a rule. Now you just got it. You got
exactly. That's what just happened. That's what AOL just did.
That's what they clarified.
They just clarified and said the stove is hot. Don't touch it.
Exactly what just happened now.
A rule in place.
He didn't know that was a hot stove. He touched it. It was hot. And now all of a sudden it becomes a rule. Don't touch the hot stove.
Just
it
like
was clarified.
McDonald's had never had a coffee watch. Coffee is hot
until somebody spilled coffee on themselves,
and then they sued them. And now it
became a rule. So you just proved my point. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, you proved mine. That there was no rule. There was no rule prior to it, so they were able to sue them.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Adam. There was no rule.
And
but
now
you
there
still
is.
learned the lesson the hard way. The lesson was not learned the hard way.
McDonald's lost a shit ton of money and got $24 million
less. But Joe didn't learn the lesson the hard way. He finished third. He finished third, no matter how you figure it.
There's still a lesson to be learned from all of this.
Well, I think we're all going to just disagree on this. I don't think there's any way we reach a agreement on
man,
this.
because that would draw people until the end argument.
Listen, I just want to say, sorry, the admins are doing the best they can. I'm not faulting any of the admins for this. I know that it's
they do a great job. They do a great job, and I don't want to I don't want to take away from what you guys did, because you guys are swift to act on that, and you guys came up with the ruling. Not only did you come up with the ruling, but you came up with the rule, right? So it was awesome the way you went together. You took the parties involved out of that situation, and then you guys moved forward with that. So don't let my disagreement to that just overshadow that, man. You guys killed it, Ed.
I think the alcohol's talking with Larry too.
Yeah,
so.
We're good. We're all no. Good conversation. I think this is a great discussion.
Honestly, I can take screenshots from 2 days ago when I was sick and complaining about the exact same thing.
That was the illness at that point, man. Your mind hasn't been clear.
You've always got an excuse, Adam. Shut up. So, real quick, I just want to thank Ed again, dude. Coming out here and jumping on last minute, man. We really appreciate you, and we got to have you back.
Next time I'm gonna be drunk.
Well, you better be. You better be. And I want to know. I got to know, man. I know you're down there in South Carolina, man. When we all going to a race?
You let me know.
Yeah.
I'll be there in September.
I think there's stuff in the works for next year. I know Ed's involved and Johnny's involved.
Looking into something. We're
looking at some good stuff going down, and I should be back in time for it. I can't wait for that to actually come through. But I definitely will in 2022 make a Darlington race. I will be back home early March, maybe April at the max, be done with the military for the most part, and be able to finally get down to Darlington. That's one of the ones I want to get to, and maybe we'll have a little meetup between me, Larry, Carl, Ed, and a few others that are in the area.
Let me know.
Now we'll definitely make something happen, brother. And like I said, man, we appreciate you coming on last minute, and we're gonna get you back next time. Hopefully, it's not so controversial to where you feel like we're just I come at you one way, somebody's coming at you another.
Controversy is good, man. Gets my blood pumping.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, appreciate you again, brother.
Thank you guys, man. Appreciate what y'all do, broadcasting, the podcast and everything, man. Even when I don't agree with you.
Thanks, man. Hey, I hope you have a good night.
I still appreciate you. I mean, you're the media. I mean, you can't trust the media.
No, not at all.
Hey, you know what? Hey,
he's going to commentator's curse tomorrow night, though, I think.
Bro, that is the most factual statement I've heard yet tonight. That really is. Like,
I think
golly, Ed,
Carl's gonna be like, let's pan to Ed Springer right quick. Let's pan to Ed Springer right quick. He's gonna do that all tomorrow night.
I'm gonna get my long haired wig next time and come on as Ross.
You're gonna have your pudding in hand.
You need pudding, and you can be can be Randy when he's not here.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Ed, man, again, thank you. And we're definitely gonna have you back, man. We love you, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right, love you guys too, man. I'm out.
Have a good one.
And
real quick, and that was Ed Springer, and I don't want to take too long on this. We took a little bit longer on damn near about every series tonight. I'm not even gonna lie. We enjoyed the IVRL conversation, and we went in. We enjoyed Philip Manzo, Ed Springer, a real last minute opportunity, and then we got into a little bit of Fuel. Fuel wanted to come out and they wanted to talk a little bit. Unfortunately, we were unable to get a hold of anybody from Fuel, but I want to talk Fuel. Right? So at this point, that's what we're going to spend the next couple of minutes doing. We're going to talk Fuel. So we've got two gentlemen running Fuel currently. We're not calling it. We will be calling their premiere series. That's starting when, Adam?
July 26th, Monday nights. That's when we're going to be start calling Fuel Racing League. That's when we'll start tackling them. We'll start. I think we're going to start beginning of July, trying to get the actual drivers there. And we got Josh and Carl. They're actually running with some of the mainstream drivers that are going to be broadcasting for. So we're going to rely on their input for the first few people to start bringing onto the show after we get talk to the admins. And so how are you guys liking it so far?
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, I mean, I've only done one race so far because I had to miss the first one, but what I've seen so far out of these guys, and I did a fun race with them as well, is throughout the field, you've got guys that are incredibly good. I mean, you've got guys probably in the top 10, from the race on Monday night that we ran. Probably top 10 could win any given race. We ran at Milwaukee Mile on Monday night. There was some fuel strategy, tire strategy, that sort of thing. It was I finished near the back. They're really good. They're really, really good, and a ton of fun to race with, and very clean. What do you think, Josh?
So before, just let everybody know, they're called the Sportsman Series for this one, and they're racing the ARCA cars. So just kind of give a background of what they're racing right now.
And in the Premier Series, they run the Xfinity.
Yeah, I'm enjoying running with them. I just don't like the fact that they're faster than me.
A lot faster.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I think some of these guys could give the top of our Cup Series a run for their money.
I mean, when we had the first open discussions with them, I mean, they were like, yeah, these people have high I ratings. They run officials like crazy. They most of the races are caution free. These guys, any given week, anybody can go out there and win. But I think there's what's his name? Allen looked at the score chart for their last season. He's like one of the top guys that are kind of like the Justin Causey or Joseph Causey of IVRL and the Blake and Justins of AOLL. He's kind of the man of the moment right now for the last season. But I mean, it looks like everybody, looking at their score sheets, everybody was, can be up there running in the top 5.
Yeah, we ran what was it? How many laps did we run? It was.
Oh God, I don't even remember.
I think we ran 100 laps. It was a long race, and we had one caution. I mean, it was super clean.
And my thing is you get a lot of characters in there, man.
Mm-hmm.
We did with when it comes to Ghostfire Media, we try to vet everything that we do. So we're going to bring in a new series. We're going to call it Form, everything like that. We want to know kind of a little bit about their series, stuff like that. They brought 4 guys in, their admins, and every single one of them just characters, personalities, man. They always had something to say, and they're funny. Good dudes. Seems like a really good league, but exactly like they said, that their league had kind of just veered from this almost AOLL type respect style league to a more competitive league, but they didn't want that. They wanted it to kick back to that respect style, but they want that competition involved, right? So how do you guys feel that they're working on that right now with this Sportsman?
Honestly, it really feels like it's there. In all honesty,
now, mind you, sorry, real quick, Josh. Mind you, the Sportsman is the tryout series.
I know.
Okay, I just want to clarify that for the viewers if we did not before that.
But even with what I've run to where I've run all the races at this point, it really has that kind of feel to me. It doesn't feel like we're going to have that one guy that's going to just spout off and really get in everybody's case because he may have gotten wrecked one time or somebody may have messed up his arrow by braking a little bit early. No, it definitely seems like there's a lot of respect around. And no, it honestly, it feels not quite like the AOLL to where it's going to be, if I need help, I just ask for it. But it also doesn't feel like it's a bunch of people just out there to win. It's a lot of good guys. There's a lot of respect given if you are significantly faster. But if you're only a little bit faster, yeah, you're going to have to work for the pass.
Yeah, what I've picked up is, first of all, I mean, their Discord's incredible. It's really cool talking to the guys.
Oh, I've had to mute it.
Yeah, I have to mute it during the day. They talk when I'm working. There's a lot.
They talk a lot.
Yeah, they in race, I would say. I mean, they're respectful, but they're aggressive. In a good way, though. I mean, I'll be honest. Milwaukee Mile, I had a hell of a time finding any speed. I mean, in practice, I was only a little bit off, but when it came on the track, I mean, I knew from the very moment that we started, I was like, I can't drive with these guys. So I was just basically trying to, stay out of the way the entire time. And they saw that I was slower. They get low and go under me when they were lapping me, probably multiple times. Yeah, it was a lot of fun running with them. And the previous fun race I've run with them, I think I finished fourth, or I finished third or fourth, and I was a little better there. They're a ton of fun to run with.
Adam, have you had any experience with them?
No, I right now being away, I leave Monday nights to the family nights. Trying to not get on anything.
No, absolutely.
But no, these, I can't wait to see them. I'm gonna have to pay attention to the sportsmen. I'm gonna have to jump in there beforehand, so I start getting familiarized with the car numbers, the voices, the car paint. Which sucks is we won't know the car paints because they're gonna swap around. But try to get familiarized with the numbers, the people there, so that when we're broadcasting, it goes smoothly for us. Starting on July 26th.
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
Watch me be terrible with my in-car stream if you really want to.
Or better yet, instead of his in-car stream, just come over to Ghostfire Media, watch the broadcast.
And we're talking about
I know
beforehand.
it's a little bit. They're going to be a couple of monotone guys calling. It's going to be me and Adam, but in all honesty, what we have for voices, we have for chemistry. I mean, me and Adam know each other personally. We know each other in real life, so we just kind of get along. We just kind of play off of each other, which is always fun. That sounded terrible. No, I'll never say that again.
I haven't recorded.
I haven't recorded. Okay, all right.
That soundbite.
It's gonna be on a t-shirt next.
Yeah, that'll be on a t-shirt next. So no, but we look forward to this series, man. I want to close it out with that. When it comes to this new series we're about to call Monday nights, it's going to be an absolute blast. Adam, do we have a time for that yet? Excuse me if I defer to Adam. Adam's the one that's been setting up this entire series. So
I think it's a little bit later. I believe it's 8:45 starting and gridding at 9. I could be 100% wrong, but we'll have that up at a date.
Nope, you're right.
So
there you go. So, and that goes for anybody out there. I know that a lot of the AOLL guys, they look for other leagues to run in. Hit these guys up.
If you're in the AOLL, IVRL, and you want a good, clean league to run in, I've heard nothing but great things. You got two guys right here telling you they're running great things. They're going to be running Monday nights right now. It's their open league for tryouts for their main league coming up. I think they might have a league minimum for the amount of races you got to do for Sportsman Series.
Yep.
To be able to make it into their Premier Series. They're trying to find and recruit more people. They've swapped days, so they lost a few people from switching from a Tuesday night to a Monday night. So they're actively recruiting. Come out and join them. You'll have some familiar faces of Josh and Carl out there on the track with you.
And you could probably beat us. Well, me at least.
It's ARCA car, man. You're dominating. How are they going to beat you in your dominating car?
Because they're just that much better than me.
That is, you know what? Never mind. So yeah, it's a great league. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun getting to know the admins of the league and get ready to call this race. And like I said, I just wanted to take a few minutes here tonight, talk about the league, get a little bit of adjustment. It was actually kind of spontaneous. Adam said that one of the admins actually tapped him, wanted to come onto the show tonight. Unfortunately, we never heard back.
Well, I talked to him at that point. At that time we were supposed to have Johnny on, and Johnny was all set, and then he went on a fire call. So then I reached back out to him to see if he could. He was I didn't hear anything back at that point, but we'll try to get him on.
There you go.
But we definitely are going to start beginning of July to start promoting their league, getting their drivers, so everybody gets to start to know these guys.
Exactly, and this is just kind of your little heads up. And like I said, this is a little warno for everybody. This is what we're working into, and if you guys are looking for a good league, like they said, a clean league, fun league, fast league, apparently at that, join them, man. Talk to the admins. Talk to Josh and Carl, and
Nick's in there too.
Nick's run one race so far.
Basically, the race that Carl wasn't there, Nick was there, and
then the swap.
Don't talk to Nick, okay? Don't talk to Nick. We see how the way Nick races. Talk to Josh and Carl, and get hooked up, man, and try it out. Like I said, they're right now recruiting, so go out there, run with them, and see how you enjoy it. But outside of that, that's about all I got to really say about that one. And tonight has been an absolute blast. We had a lot of fun. We talked a lot about rules.
2.5 hours.
Good.
I knew we would. I told you guys we would. I was going to play with that one.
Well, I will send this off. We'll come watch us on Sunday night. Charlotte, Josh, and Carl will be on the call in the broadcast booth for that. And then Tuesday night we'll be at our All-Star Racing IVRL series. Next Wednesday we're going to be. I have no clue. We're going to be at Sportsman next week. But hey,
twin ring.
Yeah, the twin ring. There we go. Japanese twin ring. That would be Carl and Larry in the booth, and then next Thursday night would be Dega. It should be Larry and Randy in the booth at that time frame. So that's our weekly plan, and we'll see you guys.
Oh no, Adam.
Oh no, I'm gonna be in North Carolina, man. I'll be on vacation. Once I get in a little comfortable mood, maybe my wife will let me venture out, but I'm not sure if she's going to enjoy me taking time away.
Can I come over?
Every time you came over, you just walked into the garage and left. You never actually went in my house, man.
I met your wife. She's cool. I like her.
Yeah, you met her once, but you just walked into the garage. I was like, "Hey, you want to see the whole entire house? Come see everybody." And you're like, "Nah, man, I gotta go."
I'm kind of a private. I don't really like people. I'll meet your family, man. We go if it's going to be get you to call a race. Let's do it.
Plus, I won't have this sweet
in the same room.
This sweet mic will be here, not there.
Well, he's right.
My wife's got a crappy mic. We play on Fortnite, and I'm barely here, so that's gonna be awesome.
Well, I got a good mic. I could bring Mike over, bring laptop over. We're good. You just got to deal with both of us in the same room, kind of like almost butting up to each other, saying, "Hey."
You know, you got the figure eight. You got the figure eight right there, man. We're good. I can be on one side, you be on the other side.
That would be adorable.
Yeah, we can just be like, hey.
All right. Hey, how about we wrap this up, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
I was thinking that we might want to because it's getting a little bit
it's only 9:30 here, man. You guys are good.
Hey, nah. Hey, with all that being said, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. We cashed this, man. It's been about 2.5 hours. It's been an absolute blast. Clarified a lot of rules. We talked about a lot about rules and yada yada yada. Honestly, everybody just kind of disagrees with me except for Carl. But with that being said, catch us next week. All right. So IVRL, where they're at this week?
We're at Nashville IVRL.
Nashville. Thank you.
All-Star race. We already did this.
Yep. And then we went to the truck series, which is going to be at Japan. I'm not even about to introduce that. We talked about TNT, yada, yada, yada. So with that being said, from everybody here at GFM, man, we hope you all have a wonderful freaking evening. I'm glad I can make all these guys laugh.
Oh,
hey, but seriously though, man, we hope you all have a good evening, man. We hope you all enjoyed all the fun and everything like that, the bickering and going back and forth. We'll catch you all, guys, Tuesday night, IVRL at Nashville Motor Speedway for their superstar race. Good night, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Hi, it's Pat Patterson, the racing guy. You're listening to the Ghostfire Media Podcast.